Welcome, Sim Captains. You've got Tim and Lee here both.
Hi.
So, good afternoon if you're in our time zone, and good morning or good evening wherever else in the world you might be. We're starting out today in Anchorage, Alaska, and you can see our classic 727-200, the FLYJSIM model, tucked in here between a 737NG and, what is that, a CRJ?
Yeah, looks like it. What, 200?
In the classic livery. I actually kind of like their new one. I like the new font. They did a good job with that.
Does SkyWest run them up there too? Because I know SkyWest does the a couple out here.
I don't know if they service them anymore or if it's all just Horizon. Best Alaska joke I heard is this tail scheme. I asked somebody from Alaska once. They said, "Oh, that's a picture of our most attractive flight attendant." Got a kick out of that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I've been on a few airlines where that could have been true, but I don't think Alaska was one of them. So
yeah, more often than not, I think that's the case. I think the majority of them are not Instagram models.
Yes. So, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is our second whack at a live stream. The last time we did it, we literally just jumped in and flew around until our wives made us divert the aircraft. So, today we've scheduled this, and so the first thing we need to do is say thank you to our wives, for whom this would not be possible today because both of us are fathers of some small children, and they take a lot of time, so getting a few hours to live stream, it's going to take a while. All right, so we're fiddling with some technology here. We're trying to get an account set up on the other device so that you can chat with us. What do you need from me?
I don't know. Here, help me figure that out.
So in a moment, we're going to power up this ship, and then Lee is going to fly the departure.
Yep.
Which is going to be extra exciting because he uses which joystick do you fly with at home?
I have our old one, the Wingman Pro 3D. I think it's a pretty solid go-to, low price point, and it's actually the second I've owned in about probably 9 to 10 years. Seemed to last long, and I believe you had one as well, right, before your current setup?
Right, actually, I had two of them.
Okay.
One of them got dropped in a snowbank. That's a long story. But the other one still works, and actually my son flies with it on the archaic laptop. He flies a Spitfire game. So.
An X-Plane, or is it one of the other sims?
No, it's like I got it for $8 out of a bin at a software store, but
no, that works though. Speaking of that, I was in, I think, a Walmart the other day, and they had Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on CD or DVD. I don't even remember, but it was on a disc, and it was $10.
Wow.
It's still out there.
We're just sim geeks at the end of the day. I think I used to play a lot of Sim City.
Yeah. Mostly when I'm not doing flight sim, I do have American Truck Simulator. We have a city bus sim that my daughter enjoys playing. She likes running the suspension and the doors and the getting people's passengers. I forget the name of it, if it's actually just bus sim or what. It's a German, I think. And then, of course, on the consoles, it's mostly racing, Gran Turismo, Formula One, what was the VR? Oh, Dirt Rally, those kind of games.
So this is how it always goes. Lee always tells me about things like, what was it, Farming Sim. Farming Sim was the most epic. Where
Farming Sim.
I cringe and smile and try not to tell him, you're an idiot. And then when I'm over to visit, he'll set it up and be like, dude, give it a try. So like 2 hours later, I'm like, no, I'm still busy with this combine. Go away. So I think I just like Sims. Even though I make fun of people, there is one Sim I have found that bored me.
Goat Sim?
No,
I haven't tried that one.
I've heard that exists.
It does.
That's a bridge too far for me.
Yeah.
There's no moving machinery as I understand it, but I got a train sim. And train sim.
You can't really change directions in that, can you?
Right, so pretty much you're just a throttle jockey at that point, and I got very bored. But actually, I didn't get bored. What very quickly devolved into was how many exciting ways can I crash the Super Chief coming out of...
Is that like a steam one or an electric
no, it's
diesel?
a diesel. It's a diesel. It's like if you saw it, you'd be like, I've seen a million HO scale models of this. Okay. I think I have one out in the other room. You probably helped me fix it once when it broke.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That's the Super Chief.
Okay.
My nerdiness expands into trains, but apparently not into simming them. All right, so I think I've got us logged in here on the other technology.
Okay, I'm going to try and figure out how to see if anyone's even watching us right now.
All right. Well, whether you're watching us in the live or if you're going to be watching this later, we're using or never. My children can watch this for posterity one day. We are using default scenery here, which Anchorage actually has a lot of stuff going on and some appropriate airlines for the area. I will say that's one thing that kind of gets on my nerves when you're at an airport that has absolutely absurd aircraft parked there, like Aer Lingus. Every once in a while there'll be like an Aer Lingus, and it's kind of like, how did they get a 318 over here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, normally it's a smaller aircraft and would make the flight.
So if you go to this ground handling window, the ground services,
sending service now,
thank you, are actually pretty decent. And so this is always the trade-off. If you download custom scenery, you can get the wonderful auto gate, which would avoid this enormous gap between us and the gate, and the aircraft would be hooked up. But using the default airports, most of them have access to this, and I think we're going to get a fuel truck, maybe a de-icing truck, a couple baggage loaders. I don't know. Do you ever use this?
What?
The default ground services?
Oh, no, not at all. And I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry about that.
The volume's going to be up here if you want to kill it. By the way, if you didn't already watch our tutorial, we've got air stairs here, and you can use Shift F1 to open them. Just being a goofball, I did try driving around with the air stairs down. When you get to a certain speed, ooh, some frame rate, it will automatically retract the stairs. The funny thing is then later, if you land, they will pop back out when you get slow enough. Just a neat little aside there. This is one thing that's annoying though. Check this out. The invisible cabin. Love the FLYJSIM, but I would have loved it more if there was a cabin.
I need assistance over there. By the way, Michael Short, thanks for subscribing. We got you there. Just got a notification of a new subscriber. So thanks
awesome.
For that.
Always love that.
I think I got the chat up finally.
You know, it's been a good couple of weeks. We've had a nice steady stream of subscribers every day, and we're looking forward to hearing your comments and making videos that interest you. So comment away, and we'll get back to you. I think we've tried to have 100% reply rate when you comment. The only time we might not reply is if neither one of us, with our forces combined, can figure out what exactly you're asking. And that's only happened, maybe twice? So.
Yeah, not very often. Usually between one of us, we can figure out what's going on or what is implied. What is implied in the question sometimes, not specifically what the question is, but what's the desired answer.
And don't be afraid to ask. Even if you're not sure what it is you're going for, we'll ask clarifying questions if we're not certain.
And if we don't know, follow back up with us as well. You
see we got a baggage loader.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have noticed one thing. Sometimes I'll push back and the baggage loaders go away, but once the pushback disengages, they like chase you down and re-hook up. So like anytime you stop on the taxiway, they were showing up. Yes, these little rogue baggage trucks. I don't see the food. Can't have this flight without food. All right, well, let's start the power up.
It is a very short flight. I don't even know, is there a dinner service on this one?
I don't know, but
56 minutes, I think, right?
Union crew meal here. We're
oh yeah, right.
There's going to be food up front, whether or not.
That's true.
So we're in the flight engineers panel. This is a busy part of the world on the ship. It's part of why it's actually nice to have an extra person on board. That and no FMC. You can have an FMC if you want it You go over here to options, you click nav. Hey, look, there's an FMS, but I find that lame, so we're going to remove the temptation.
Yes, we are doing this straight slant alpha. We're using VOR navigation only. That we have some practice with it in the past, and we use it for some of the smaller airplanes. However, a jet with this complexity probably won't fail to surprise us at one end.
Right, things happen quickly, and neither one of us is a rated pilot, and between the two of us, there's decades of flight simming experience and hundreds of hours in X-Plane
Sure.
11. I think I have a little over 400 hours in X-Plane 11. And most of those are actually hours. I actually kind of shudder to think how much time I've spent sitting in this chair screwing around with this.
Yeah, the editing takes longer than the flying, so we actually spend more time producing the videos than we do
I think
flying.
Since we started the channel, I've only trickled my hours up. Most of those hours were back in our
Flying Tigers days.
Yeah, the virtual airline days. All right, so let's get going here. We're going to turn on the battery first. So that should give us DC power. We'll turn the essential power to standby. And that's going to let some of the systems operate, like we could run the radios. But you notice we don't have backlighting. Just not everything's going to run yet. We're still getting some really awful frame rates here. So
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
hopefully that will clear up. I was using the system all morning and had no issues. In the tutorial that we launched on Thursday, we went back here and fired up the APU and did everything that way. So I figured today we'd do it a little bit different. If you go to your side menus, we've got a ground power unit. Hopefully you can hear the sound of that kicking in. Kind of sounds like someone started a generator outside, which is basically what happened. And the air cart, and it says in the bottom corner here, it says check PSI after it fires up. Usually takes 45 seconds, and you actually can watch the pressure setting here, and in about 45 seconds ish it will come up.
I hear something.
Yeah, I hear the whistle.
Yeah.
So the air cart, if I'm not mistaken, it's functionally like a GPU on a cart. It's just a small jet engine.
It should be, for your bleed air, because normally with an APU, right, you get the bleed air.
Right.
So,
So the GPU is basically a generator. I don't know if there's anything fancy about it.
electrical generator, yeah.
So that's going to provide us with alternating current.
Yeah, probably.
I would assume. I don't know if it comes in as DC or alternating. And then the air cart.
It's just pressurized air, I think.
Right. And interestingly enough, I think the 727 is the first Boeing to get an APU. So prior to this air cart was not an oddity. Like, that is how all jets were started. The DC-8s, Convair 880s, this thing, like this,
707.
This was normal, yeah, the 707. No air cart, no flying that day. So it's just interesting that we now live in a time where that's an exception. That can still be done if you have bad bleed, or for some reason the ship cannot. If the APU was down, can you
If it's
fly?
unserviceable, yeah.
Can you fly an aircraft without a serviceable APU?
I believe you can, because there's going to be the minimum equipment list on whatever the airplane is
All
for its dispatch. So if you can fly, I imagine probably not if you're doing like ETOPS, but if there's something you can do to complete the flight and that's not on there, I don't think it's a stop item.
All right. Well,
could be wrong. If you know, comment.
Yeah. So that's kind of the funny thing. For our audience out there, I mean, we are not real pilots, but we hang out with some real ones. We certainly read plenty of things from real ones. So there are times you might be tempted to thinking we know more than we do, but we're just giant nerds. We just read a lot of stuff, and since aviation's our thing, that's where our little bookworms go.
That's true. And if we don't know, we do try and find out. We have, as Tim mentioned, friends in the industry, not only just in the flight decks, but also in the air traffic system.
I'm just an idiot.
Kill something?
So sorry, I just slammed on the desk that holds the microphone. So if you got obnoxious sound. I promise I won't do that again. So I've been staring here, zoomed in on the PSI that never came on. But remember, we didn't have alternating current yet.
Right.
When I activated the ground power, it just connected it. It didn't actually put it on bus.
Okay.
So yeah, now we solved that problem.
Okay. So now we can start it, or
So now we can see we've had air for quite a
we
while.
got duct pressure, yeah.
Okay, let's take a peek outside. Oh, rain.
It's raining.
Oh, you're going to love this, guys. If we get
Perfect.
going, you can try out the new rain on the window.
Unless, of course, frame rates totally plummet and it makes it virtually unusable.
It's actually looking pretty good right now. I don't
Yeah.
see the jumpiness. But you notice we don't actually have a cart out here connected to us. A couple of my other aircraft, what do we have there where the carts show up? My Michael Wilson 707 has it. How
the
about
X-Craft ERJ series.
X-Craft?
Or family.
How about the Flight Factor stuff?
Flight Fact. Yeah, I believe.
Those show up?
I think so.
There's a little card out there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while since I've flown the 7.5 or 7.6.
I don't remember if the 748 does, the SSG.
I wonder if I can tell the ground service to go away. They're just going to sit there all day. It's going to annoy me. All right. Well, whatever. So, we're chatting a lot here. Now, my apologies if I don't do things exactly the way we did in the tutorial. For the tutorial, I was trying to share knowledge, and we went through the amplified procedures that they gave us. For today, we're trying to fly, and I'm not really looking at those lists myself, so hopefully we won't do anything too ridiculous. I like the bright red. It actually makes it look really good from outside. Did you know that? Yeah, we'll see if it's visible.
I don't know that I've ever flown this in a minimal light setting.
All right. Well, if you're out here at night, the cockpit will glow red
Okay.
if you have your red dome light on bright. And, you know, it's that whole night vision thing. The red doesn't mess you up as much. You know, we have the rain effect on, and I see rain. Oh, wait. There it is. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
I see our fancy new water drops.
Okay.
Alright, so let's get some navigation lights on so people know someone's aboard. I'll turn on the emergency lights. Passenger signs are on.
I was over here trying to type in chat because it seems to be pretty quiet, which that's fine. You're just doing a flow, kind of running through this?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I really have a flow set up at this point, but I'm just...
Semi-systematically going through it?
Doing stuff. Oh!
Okay.
Just double checking. I'm pretty sure I know. What's our briefed altitude?
Flight level 300.
I highlighted it all for Lee, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have to work too hard. I printed it and hit it with the highlighter. All the good
It's
stuff.
true. It's not a work day today, so I appreciate the not working.
Minimal brain power.
Right. Like it.
So
And then we picked the 727, which is a 3-crew slant alpha, so we're going to make up for the work on the back end.
it's going to be pretty epic. But fun. There will be no time to get bored here. Or galley power. Somebody's going to want coffee in first class.
I do. I want coffee now.
It's a little late in the day. This is about my cutoff time for coffee. So here's a part of the procedures that I'm not quite clear on. Prior to start, you turn on one pump and one pump only
Per
tank.
Yeah.
And then later you come back and turn them all on.
Well, it's probably just a voltage or current drain minimization, kind of like the Apollo 13 when they were coming back, they couldn't go over a certain amount. So it probably just minimizes the draw running one pump versus flipping both on until you get...
Sure, why not?
I don't know.
It's a better theory than I had. Let's get our ship set up as per briefing here.
Yeah.
What do we got for fuel?
Fuel, probably the most important thing, 20,000.
All right, right now she's got 25,000 loaded, so I use the overall minus to bring it down to...
And if any of you care, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but this briefing is up on our Facebook page.
Right.
Correct?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry if I didn't already mention that, guys. The charts we think we're going to be using are up on the Facebook, and the sim brief pages that we're referring to are up on our Facebook, which is Flight Brothers FT. Very creative, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said 20,000 pounds even?
Yeah. Well, 20,004 pounds.
Okay.
I hope we're not at a position where we're depending on 4 pounds of fuel.
Well, we're going to have an extra 6 on board. How do you feel about that?
It's more is better. I like it.
And what's our passenger weight? Our payload weight?
Our estimated takeoff's 149.6.
It's on page 3 for those playing along at home.
You want payload, right?
Yep.
29.9.
29.9, and we're currently at 1,700. So we need some more people on board. Yeah. I'm going to click random. What did you say?
29.9.
29,900.
Correct.
Okay. 22.5, 25.5. This is not the most efficient way to do this, but I'm weird and that's what I do. All right, we're close. So get some more people in first class. 28. Do we need to be? Are we gonna be like just a full house here?
I don't know, but for the 50-something minute flight, I would definitely pay about triple the seat price to sit up in first.
There we go. 29.9.
Okay, 29.9.
That's a lot of people wanting to go to Fairbanks.
All right, and is that where we're going? I know I read it once. Okay, so fuel was 20.0. You got that?
You thought we were headed to Hawaii?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going even farther north.
Right? Why not?
Colder.
It's day almost all day up there, right?
All day.
Yeah, all day.
It's almost no night at this time of year.
You got a zero fuel of about 131. That's what the sheet says, which would give us a takeoff of about 149.6.
Our ZFW is 127.5, but I'm not too worried because if you didn't see this in the video, we have these wonderful performance cards, which in real life, whoever was sitting at this table as the flight engineer would be tasked with producing this information. And it's populating in real time, so as we sit here, if I had the APU on, the fuel would be chugging down, and this would be recalculating constantly. We can recalculate the flaps by clicking through, and you'll notice the speed. Less flaps, more speed to get off the ground, basically. So I'm thinking let's do a flaps 15 for takeoff. Or you want flaps 20? You're flying the takeoff.
So I am flying the takeoff. But we got plenty of runway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do a flaps 15 then.
Flaps 15.
I think that'll give us that should give us a slightly longer roll, but kind of better performance in that second phase.
All right, and I'm not going to set the bugs yet.
All right.
So let's see what we've got going on here.
We've had a couple viewers in and out, but no chatters today.
You know, I don't know if it's the rain or what, but our frame rate is garbage. That's bad. All right. Trying to avoid hate mail here, kids. Where's the 135.5? 135.5. All right, so we're going to pull up the ATIS, the Automatic Terminal Information System. That I had to make sense of something.
10 Stevens Anchorage INTL Information Quebec. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind 330 at 8. Visibility 9. Rain. Sky conditions 7000 overcast. Temperature 12. Dew point 11. Altimeter 2971. Arriving runway 33. Departing runway 33. Advise on initial contact. You have Quebec.
Got it. Couple mistakes there, but I was able to write all that down.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start setting those altimeters to 29 or 71, if that's correct.
Yep.
And do you want to go back over that information for our viewers?
Yeah. Okay, so we had information Quebec. That was 330 at 8 was our wind speed. Visibility was 9 miles in rain. Our lowest deck there, and I think the only one they mentioned for the cloud layer, was 7,000 feet overcast. So I think from a meteorological standpoint, if memory serves me correctly, you kind of divide a sky into, I think it's like ninths or something, eighths or ninths, and then if you have a solid deck, it's overcast. If it's like 7/8 or something, it's broken.
Oh.
And then you go, up from there would be scattered, and then you would go few. So few is like 15% of the sky or less has clouds.
All right.
And then it kind of increases up. So normally you'll only see overcast, OVC, or scattered, SCT. Few is few. And then broken's BKN on your ATIS.
I'll tell you what, before we finish our setup here, just so it's ready, I'm going to call for our pushback just so it comes and connects.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to hold this ground crew call. It's actually kind of neat. It just jumps you.
Cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Oh, it jumps you to this?
Kabam, right to
Nice.
there. Now, what runway are we taking off?
3-3 according to ATIS.
3-3. So this is actually okay. That prefab start point is fine. So I'm just going to hit enter.
Actually, that's going to put us on a pretty much straight departure course too, right?
So it's driving
We're
up.
Yeah.
going almost north.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah, it'd be a slight right.
So once again, if you just got here, we have all the flight documents up on Facebook. Flight Brothers FT is the account, including charts. Now, the charts we put up on Facebook are the free FAA charts. They have basically the same information. They just don't look as pretty as the Jeppesen charts that Navigraph publishes. We are using the Navigraph here. Ooh, hey, frame rates
Frame rate
are
improvement.
looking better. I'm not sure what my computer's doing right now. I didn't have any of these issues flying around myself earlier, but I wasn't live streaming it to the world. So,
Hashtag resources, man.
right, and this 20 frames per second, I don't know that that's accurate, because usually I would get sort of a glitchy view, but that...
Okay, all
Seems to
doors and
work.
hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, so while he's connecting, how about we talk our way through our departure?
Our flight plan here, or
So,
actual departure. Do we have a chart for that?
we're going to be looking for a second at the sky vector, which you guys will find again on our Facebook. So runway 33 is going to bring us out. We could tune up the TED VOR, which is on airport, but it's probably not necessary.
I don't even think we need it. I think we can just come straight in on whatever this one is.
Okay, so our first
Big Lake.
frequency is going to be BGQ,
Yeah.
Bravo Golf Quebec, right?
Yeah.
Which is Big Lake at 112.5.
So connected and flight path been in service. Release parking brake.
It's there.
Check.
So let me tune that up. 112. A big part of flying slant alpha, or just radio nav, is really what that means, is it's conceptual. It's in your head, because when you have that FMC, the plan's in there, and the ship knows where it's going, and you can see it on that beautiful map display. Here the maps are paper, and they're in your head. So you need to have an understanding of where you're going and what this radio information means ahead of time. Also, you wouldn't take off with your FMC only having the first two waypoints. We're not going to take off without setting up our navigational radios in sequence, so that when we're approaching the second, we don't have to bumble around and go, oh, what's the freak again? We're just going to slam it over to the next one, and we'll be ready.
Sure.
So after Big Lake, what is our next VOR?
Next one's Fairbanks. It's going to be 108.6.
108.6.
Yeah.
All right, so right now we have nav2 tuned to 108.6. So when we're flying, if you're not familiar with this, I did not go over this in the tutorial. Nav1 comes up here on the pilot's horizontal situational indicator, the HSI. And can we get it already?
That's the two from. Yeah, probably. It's only a few miles out.
See, since we're on the ground, it's debatable if we'd actually be picking up the VOR signal, but we are definitely within range. It's only like 66 miles or something. So this here is a course number in the top left. You'll see it's jumping around as we move the needle. This is your heading bug, but your heading bug does not give you a course number. The top right here is the distance to the radio
Yeah, it's your
DME.
Yeah, your
right?
DME, distance measuring equipment.
Which, if you ever really want a fun nerd fest, look up how DME operates, like how it calculates it. That was pretty interesting. I mean, you explained it to me one day, but then I had to read it myself because it was one of those, when you explained it, it almost made sense to me, but if I had to restate it, I couldn't have done it.
Sure.
So I read it, and it's it's a fascinating little bit of science there.
Yeah.
DME2, I really appreciate that they put this right here beside us. This is for the NAV2. Now, NAV2 actually shows up on the co-pilot's HSI, and you can see it's flagged right now because it's not getting anything. It's too far out, and that's why we're getting all zeros here.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's not uncommon if we're flying a really long leg that we might be going outbound from our VOR, the first one, and we are still not in range of the second one. So we might be tracking behind us by, following the reverse course. The VOR we've already passed, and then we're just going to keep watching this thing until it lights up.
Yeah, until you pick up that next one.
And then we can snap over to that one. So, that's how you kind of connect the dots in the air with these radio signals. Hey, it's getting wetter.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a good time to see how all these wipers work?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
I'll give you a warning. They don't sound beautiful.
Right.
They sound like something out of like a Yugo. I don't know if I don't know if a real 727 wipers sound like that, but
I would hope with the level of detail that they've put into this one that
Yeah,
they didn't cheat us on that
that's
one.
probably legit. I think if I was the captain, I would just spray more Rain-X out there.
That's
because
true.
that sound,
All the ground crew.
That sound is not it's not the slightest bit annoying, is it? Okay, so we have our first radio. We have our second radio. We've pulled ATIS.
Do we want to tune the 1086 on the
Good idea.
standby
We're going to
there?
have that prepped on the captain's side.
Yeah.
And then
Do we want ILS?
Yes,
or is
sir.
That, it's 10.3 for runway 20.
we're coming in 2 left, most likely.
Okay.
You can scratch that if it's going to confuse you. So if you look on Facebook at the charts, at the moment the weather we're anticipating is to arrive in Fairbanks for a runway 2 left landing. There's 2 runways there, only one of which is really serviceable jet size. And 2 left's ILS, according to the chart, is 109.1. And we don't need the course yet. We'll get that when we're up there. Okay, so here's our first radio beacon. Our second is already tuned, so we can watch for it in nav2. We have it on standby for the captain to switch. When we do that, we'll switch the co-pilot side over to watch for the ILS localizer, because at that point we're on descent into Fairbanks, and we'll begin our procedure to pick up the runway and bring the ship in.
Can we tune up our heading there?
Yeah, we're gonna look at our map for a second. If you're gonna do radio nav, you want to put it into
342.
Sky Vector. Put it into Sky Vector.
Or Navigraph. If you have a Navigraph subscription, it'll still show up in there, right?
I guess you can. I haven't
You can
tried
still point
it.
to point it.
Navigraph certainly has the maps. I just find Sky Vector super easy. The main thing is it's going to give you a magenta line, and on that, they have already found your track. So you don't have to look at the little compass rose and go, okay, what radial am I on? It's going to tell you. So you wanted the 346.
Well, if we do, okay. Well, which way are we departing? We're departing to the north, right?
Yeah, 33.
Yeah. So we can pick up the 342.
Okay,
Right.
that's fine.
We'll just bug
342.
342 on there, and then it'll center when we're on 342 on the Big Lake VOR, which is 112.5.
All right. So just tell our viewers about this needle. You see the needle down here in the HSI deflecting. Those The needle does actually indicate a certain distance from the track, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. So if we turn this, like right now, click it one more. I think go to like 343. Okay, it goes slightly more. So actually, okay, if we do 342, which is what we wanted, that would tell us that we are on the 34, or that we would have to fly a heading of 342 to get to that station. So when we take off or when we taxi, we're moving around. This line's going to move as we move relative to where that station is. But once we take off, we'll just want to center that back up.
Well, so if I was seeing this,
you'd want to go to the left.
I would need to move left.
Yeah, you'd want to fly to the line.
And a full deflection is like what? Is that 5 miles plus 5 or?
That I don't remember, but that's see how you're spinning it to like 056. So if you fly to that, once you intercept that and it's on the center, you'll be on that 075.
Right. Okay.
So you kind of need to know where you're at in order to know how you want to get there.
And this is where that looking at the map, having this all in your head
right
ahead of time is very important. Okay, so let's take a quick glance and see if we are ready to push. Did we ever lose our luggage carts? Yeah, they got tired. They're out of here.
It started raining again. I think they said we're done.
Yeah. Thunderstorm warnings. Okay, so we have interior lights.
Yeah.
I've got on the nav light. I'll put on the beacon because we'll be powering the ship soon.
Sure.
Logo. I'm going to leave off the wing for the moment. No taxi lights because we'll blind them. No pitot and window heat until... let's go turn on the APU. I know I said we're going to use the air cart, but...
We don't want to go back through all this again.
So here's the thing. When we use the air cart, in theory, when we push back, it would be ripped from the ship or have to be disconnected.
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
So either you would start the engines here at the gate, which...
Actually, we could have done that.
You know...
Done a single engine start. Run the bleed.
Is that what they would do? A single engine and then
probably.
let that bleed do the rest?
I don't know. If I had to guess, that would kind of make sense.
I mean, at the end of the day, so like, why not just start the APU? So that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give the APU a moment. If you...
Also watched the video. It takes it about a minute of runtime, right, before it produces sufficient pressure.
And you see the exhaust blasting out here. So a normal APU and pretty much everything that's produced by Airbus, Boeing, or anybody else is right back here. But since this is the number 2 engine housing, the actual jet engine is here in the center line of the aircraft. This thing up here on the tail is just a giant pipe. The S-duct brings air in, but the engine is not there. So if you look at a DC-10, the engine's literally mounted on the tail.
Yeah, it's straight through.
L-1011 was an S-duct. The Russian Tupolev 154, Yak 40, is it Yak 42? Are those both tri-jets?
I don't know. Your Russian knowledge is way better than mine. I know what was it, 150, whatever the other one you said, Tupolev.
There was definitely a period of time, the Hawker-Siddeley Tridents, where this configuration was what everybody was using. And I don't really know how much loss of efficiency there was gulping their air and ramming it through this pipe, but I'm sure there was some.
Well, and thinking about it too, depending on your bleed air, you've got to de-ice that or anti-ice that inlet. So that air has to go from wherever it's at up there. It probably lose temperature being piped up there as well.
Oh yeah.
Whereas on the side, 1 and 3, it's right there on the nacelle.
Is it Alaska on their way in here? Alaska 44. All right. Well, let's go look here. This is what happened in the video. It was peaked, and it it let me do it. Hey, we're getting out of here, kids.
The chat's extremely slow today. We have 4 people watching, and no one is commenting with us, so we're having to wing this. Hey, if you have anything you want to say or ask, feel free. There might be certain phases of flight, where we might be a little bit busy, but we'll get to it. We have a second computer sitting over here to the side, so fire away. If you have questions on what we're talking about, what's going on screen, if we're too loud, if we're not loud enough, let us know, and we'll make the adjustments here.
All right. The first time I disconnected the GPU, we lost things, and I realized I hadn't toggled the essential power over.
Okay.
I have a feeling our frame rates have improved. This thing still says 20,
It still says
but
20. Whatever.
but it's moving real smooth inside, so that's good.
Well, neither one of us normally watch those anyway, right? Oh, you're gonna hit the update?
So this was part of the Rain Man thing. Is the weather radar, which right now we're irradiating the terminal because I'm turning it on the ground. But I don't care. I just don't want to forget, and then when the air. Because here's the thing: once these throttles are pushed forwards, trying to get to this control panel in the sim is a real turkey. Because I mean, the throttles are going to be up here.
That's an interesting angle.
It's just not. It's not pretty. So I'm turning it on now. Oh, look, it's populating.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of clutter.
Let's run this thing out. Oh, there we go.
Wait a minute now. Is this actually painting weather, or does this also paint terrain? Because you know in the flight factor, if you
yeah, you can angle down.
Yeah, if you angle the dish down, you can actually start getting ground reflections.
These are all the people in the terminal that we're irradiating right now.
We're flying Chernobyl Airways. No, not quite there, Russell.
All right. Okay, we've set our bugs. I'm just gonna look at the panel, and then I think I'm about to hand it over to you.
You don't want it back in one piece, right?
Or do you want me to push back and start the engines and then give it to you?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. You just did this, and I think the last time I fired this up was
well, let's go then.
Probably two or 3 months ago.
Start at pushback, and you may start engine.
I'd hate to undo all your hard work right now.
All right, so he's gonna do his thing. We're gonna jump up here to the overhead part of the flight engineers, and we're gonna shut down the packs and the galley power, and we've got all of our bleeds open. Great. Then oh, there we go. Now we're getting a little bit of lag again. Open the start guards, single click down. And we're watching our N2. We want to be between 17 and 20% on the N2. And on the N1, we're going to watch the little inner dial to see that we get a little bit of motion on N1, because there should be some. If you've ever wondered what this is all about, if you just dump jet fuel into that engine and ignite it, then you basically have a barbecue in a tube. So you need the fan blades spinning fast enough that once it ignites, it's exhausted out at a speed that doesn't overtemp the engine and catch it on fire. Oh, there we go.
Well stated. I like the barbecue in a tube. Dumping too much lighter fluid on it, and
not that we've ever been pyros with there's probably a name for it, that little like coffee can looking device you use on the
I have
charcoal
one of those.
grill.
It's a chimney.
Yeah, it's a chimney.
Yeah.
And
a buddy of mine, Roger from Florida, he had one.
Right.
I'd never seen one before. I'm like, what is that? But it looks cool. It looks like an SR-71 on takeoff, just turned vertical.
Right, and that's pretty much what you would be doing to your engine if you poured flammable gas in and ignited it without proper airflow to clear that out.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see the oil lights off, so we've got a good start on 3. Oh, good, our frame rates.
What was our departure runway? Here's 3-3,
3-3.
right?
Yep.
So I'm trying to look for a departure chart, and to be quite honest, off 3-3, it's kind of got...
We're going to take off 3-3, climb.
Yeah, see, here it's got initial climb above 600 into 299.
We're not going to do that.
So we'll just go VOR direct?
Yeah, we're pretty much going to make it a visual departure, and we're just doing what we want. Benefits of the sim, guys.
That, and we're in Alaska.
Yeah, because because no one flies in Alaska, right?
Well, there's a lot of people that fly in Alaska.
We'll take out a few Cessnas and a couple seaplanes on the way, but other than that,
that's true.
Other than that, and massive amounts of cargo, it should be safe.
Well, I would say, yeah, probably over Anchorage would be fairly busy with a lot of the cargo stuff, but I think going up to, where's this, Fairbanks, don't know that I would take that as a travel destination.
Well, I have a suspicion at our altitude.
Complete. Set parking brake.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
At our altitude, it shouldn't be high traffic, but at the lower altitudes,
Disconnecting
true.
code. Stand by.
Yeah.
we're going to pass out. Talkeetna is going to be off to our west.
West, yeah.
And that's pretty much around the what is that, Mount McKinley or Denali?
Oh no, Denali. Yeah, Denali.
And so it's a gorgeous area, and there would be sightseeing there, and
true.
Cessnas are used about as commonly as Toyota Corollas are down here in the lower 48. So
very true. Yeah.
all right, let's get rid of him. Let's see where we ended up.
No, we're almost there. Yeah. There he is.
All right, he's still doing his thing, and we look kind of set up here.
We're washing a couple of those airplanes back there behind us.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
sure they're appreciating every second of that.
Hopefully the ground crew's not out
So
there.
it's
They might be
disconnected.
really
Runway
upset.
captain has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
Okay, so you're gonna get the joy of driving through this hot spot in the rain. So we're gonna be taxiing.
I can go Lima. Let's go Lima Romeo Kilo.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you make the first right, you'll be on Lima. If you make the second, you'll be on Gulf, headed out. We should have plenty of runway either way. It's
Yeah.
10,900, just almost 11,000 feet, which this thing picks up a little bit slow, but once it gets going, it gets going. I'm gonna get your trim set for you.
Yeah, Russell. We're doing VOR to VOR. No FMC on this one. We kind of have the. I think on this, actually, if you click in the green band, it'll auto go to the value that's on the car.
Wow. Okay, everybody, you got to see that because I need to see that. That's why I keep this guy around. All right, so we're gonna click on the green, and Lee is claiming it will automatically trim.
To 5.41.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good job, FlyJ, on that one.
Fantastic. Wow. Laziness.
Hey, Yoder Aviation, welcome.
All right. 2971. We've got those set. Gonna give you a taxi light. No strobes yet. Okay, let me just finish your setup. Pitos.
Pitos, yeah.
Window heat.
Sure, gonna need that.
And
Actually, we have a temp and dew point of 12 and 11. So we
Ooh,
may even actually
fog
have to go
time.
to,
de-ice.
yeah.
It's not one I've done much with. Where's that pump? There we go. Pump's on. And normally, if you have more fuel in the center tank, you're going to want these cross feeds on. We don't really.
almost
It's
even.
pretty even.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you get a pressure, if you get pressure warnings later,
Okay.
we'll turn them on. And
hopefully not too bad.
These are all good. We're going to leave it in 3. Galley power is on. Packs are on. Gasper's on. We're going to close the bleeds on 2.
Yoder's asking if we have the Phenom. No, we do not have the Phenom.
Nope, but if somebody gets it, it's going to be Lee and not me. That's more, the BizJet is more his bag than mine. What were we talking about the other day? Somebody's coming out with is it DC-10 or an MD-11?
MD-11, I think it's Rotate.
Yeah.
I think Rotate's going to be making the MD-11.
And one of these days, I'm going to spring for their MD-80. I think, honestly, if the Laminar was a little worse, I would have already bought it. But the Laminar is just, it's fun. It's really not great, but it's fun.
And one of my hang-ups with that, because I've watched your tutorial a couple of times, actually, on the MD-80. I've only done one flight with it. And it's just different enough that I don't want to dedicate the time to learn it because I have that Flight Factor A320 that I never fly.
Right.
Because
it's an Airbus. You actually want to fly the plane.
Well, joking aside,
But
it's just
sorry, Airbus guys.
It's just that architecture is different.
Right. Nothing is where you expect it to be in your Boeing mind.
Right, and it mostly works the same, except it doesn't.
Right. That you look at that overhead, and it's like an unholy mess.
Well, you know what? That's not even the problem. The problem is on your glare shield panel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the Airbus you can do a push-pull. So I think if you pull it and turn, it'll go to the heading selected. If you push it, it goes to your FMC selected.
All
so
right.
it's got a couple knobs that are double function. Russell, we are actually not using a shared cockpit today. I'm actually over at Tim's house. So we're doing it old school where you invite your friends over and I don't know, pass the controller around.
I will say the shared cockpit would actually, it wouldn't be great for streaming, but it would have an advantage because we've done it before. That, for example, I could have done all that setup while Lee was working on other things. Now, your crew resource management has to be there. You need to know that somebody handled every task. So speaking of which, we're going to actually try and get this thing moving. Are you ready to? Are you going to handle
I'll
the taxi?
swap seats with you. We'll do the taxi, which should be fun. Tim has pedals here, which if you, what are these? Something? Are these CH?
Yeah, CH Pro pedals.
Yeah, CH Pros, which we actually have our gear on our. If any of you guys actually look or scroll down our video descriptions down at the bottom, we have those Amazon affiliate link things. We have all the stuff we use. We don't have fancy setups. We just joysticks. I mean, half the time when you fly these, you're on autopilot anyway. So we're gonna try and get this bird rolling. So you gave me lights earlier, right?
Right.
Lights. We have trim set. We need flap set for takeoff.
All right. What's your flap set?
15.
All right. I will
Please, sir.
that.
All right, 15 to you. Auto brakes are over.
Flaps are headed to 15.
Okay.
You want auto brakes?
Auto brakes are on the roof on this one, right? Yeah, right here.
Other way.
There we go.
RTO.
That was like a diagonal left and down movement there.
3 on the keypad is your overhead.
Okay.
And it'll be centered, so it'll avoid that.
Oh, right. Okay,
the bugs have not been set yet.
All right, I will set the bugs by clicking on the card. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Did they go? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was looking at the attitude indicator for some stupid reason.
And
I'm going to bug 250 on this as well. Sorry.
Okay. Other way.
Why are
the scrolly wheel does work.
Okay.
And it does look like we're encountering a little bit of lag again.
Yeah. I think it's the combination of like the rain and our clouds look like they've lightened up or thinned out or something. But anyway, these things happen. We do not run ridiculous $25,000 PCs. I've got other things to spend my money on or that I'd rather do it. So we try and make with what we have.
Right. Well, not to mention, I know I've been in this situation where I've watched somebody else's.
Perfect.
Dun dun dun. Just hit OK.
Okay.
I don't care.
Whatever.
Where somebody's put and look, now it's smooth.
Yeah, now it's
running. As soon as we hit
fine.
OK, now it's happy.
Perfect.
I'll watch somebody's YouTube of X-Plane, and I mean, it looks like gold. It looks like real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kind of demotivating because you just know you're not going to spend that much cash.
Or we're not. Yeah.
Well, somebody might, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go for a PPL before I dump 10 grand into
True
the
that.
system.
I agree.
Okay,
I'm going to bug 10. Is that
you
okay
can
for an initial?
Climb direct.
Climb
So
direct?
I would just say set it to 30.
All right.
If you guys didn't know this, that little mode switch there will switch it to hundreds.
Yeah.
So you would be scrolling hundreds of feet, which is convenient on approach when you have, for example, on approach, I think we're going to be shooting for 2,100 feet.
Should I go ahead and taxi?
Yeah.
All right.
You can disengage the parking brake using the toe brakes, so both feet.
All right.
There you go.
I think we got it. What we got here? Oh, we got some other questions
Sorry,
coming
guys,
in.
I'm the one on the chat thing right now, and I'm not doing a very good job.
Complain to Tim. That's okay. He's having to help me as well. So yeah, he's running pedals. I normally don't have pedals, so When I drive this thing into a ditch, you guys can all laugh at us.
Are you doing Lima or Golf?
I was wanting to go to...
Lima was going to take you straight there.
Where do I want to go?
Turn right if you want Lima. It should be. It's one of the... I take whichever one you can get to without
I'll
driving
just
like a
go.
fool.
Yeah, I'll just go to this one. What's this?
Should we turn on the wipers? That's Golf.
That's Golf. Well, I guess
Guys,
we're
this
going
is
Golf.
the Rain Man update. If you're wondering what Rain Man was, you're looking at it. You've got rain. The weather radar also came in, as did the onboard Avatab in game, which the VR people will love.
And the other nice thing about the rain being added to this is, much like real life, it appears nothing more than an inconvenience to whatever it is you're trying to actually function. When you drive a car, no one says I want to drive in the rain very often. So, but everybody gets super pumped on a flight sim about rain editions. I'm going to take a look and see where we're at here. Let's see, Golf. I want to go right.
All right, so anybody who just got in here, we've got the full flight plan, as well as the charts for you, at least the FAA version. We have permission from Navigraph to use their charts during streaming, but we never asked them about putting it on social media, so to respect their product and their intellectual property, we are not going to do that without asking. But the FAA stuff is just fine. It's the same information, just presented a little differently, a little less pretty.
Am I going the right direction? Looks like it.
Roger. Yeah.
Which,
there's your hold line.
Which, if Magnus or if you guys end up ever seeing this, which I doubt, if you want to give us permission, shoot us an email. You got the info. We appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Maybe one of these days we'll actually run into you guys at a Flight Sim Expo. Okay, we are stopped here.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna go radio silent on the chat window until we're in the air and we've got it all cleaned up.
Yeah, try to not fly into mountains.
If you didn't know this, there's no auto throttle, so we will need to manage the speed every second of this trip.
Can I get this over to heading now?
Yes, because that is just a flight director. It's on your...
Actually, let me go to nav. That way I can track that radial. Right? That'll go to 342. Yeah, and again, if you're joining us, we have our initial VOR set here, which is what? Big tree, big lake?
Big lake, I believe.
Yeah, on the left side, and then our second VOR is going to be 108.6, and then
Fairbanks, yeah.
Or yeah, Fairbanks. So we're going to get this pig in the air, and
all right, and we'll just
try and catch up with
quick
you.
crew resource management,
Yeah.
because I'm in the right-hand seat. I need to know what you want out of me. Am I doing throttles?
Yeah, if you could, I'll do initial advance on the throttle. On climb, if you can maintain the EPR.
Okay, so I'm going to maintain EPR.
Yep.
And I'm going...
If you can call my bugs.
All right, and am I retracting flaps for you?
Do you want to? Yeah, because I'm probably going to be just holding pitch to control airspeed,
That's
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll handle flaps.
If you can do flaps and the call out, and then.
So just real quick, let's look at the card. Right now we're taking off at a flap setting of 15.
I'm going to move this over here so you can see it.
Actually that helped me a ton. We'll maintain that flaps 15 until 150 knots. At 170 knots, we can retract to flaps 5. At 190 knots, we can retract to flaps 2, or basically just the slats.
Yeah, I think that's leading edge.
Then at 200 knots, we'll clean it up completely, and that's why you see the 0. And you can see the bugs on the airspeed indicator are at about 140, which is our V2. And the next one is shown at about 150. That is our first flap retract speed. Although because we're at flaps 15, we're not really doing anything at that one. And then the last bug is
200.
We're cleaning it up at 200. And then the little orange guy is set to 250, which Lee has put there because that's the typical speed limit under 10,000 feet.
All right.
We don't need to brief any engine out procedures because this is a sim, kids, and We don't like those inconveniences, so I have failures set to off. Now, that's not to say I've never had a failure, but I think it's usually because I did something that broke something.
I'm going to taxi this out here.
All right, we're going to line up.
So, so you have power and you have my call-outs, right?
Right.
And then I'll handle the rotation, and you handle flap retraction, and then I'll try and manually get us over probably on that course on 342. Yeah, any questions?
Approaching.
I think
we did.
3.
Turn my face a little bit this way.
You also right-click with the mouse, which might be faster.
Oh yeah, is that what I did?
Yeah, like hold down the button, and then you can drag your viewpoint very quickly.
I didn't do that, did I? Use the hat?
And then just slam one when you want to.
It's actually kind of interesting with this. You can actually see the roll, like the airplane kind of rolls to the side when it's heavy.
It does really lean into the turns. Now, I don't think we're lined up, and we have not set a heading bug for runway heading, which if you want to look at the Avatab, we can see what the official, according to Hoyle, runway heading is.
Oh, yeah,
or you can just set it to 3-3.
I'll bug this for the time being, for the sake of the stream and kind of getting things rolling. All right, we ready?
Dimitri, thank you. I suspect we know who you're talking about. But nothing but love here for the other YouTubers. Everyone's got their niche, and we're aware of some of those guys, and we have definitely decided that's not what we want ours to be. All right, I'm going to shut up now. We're just flying until we're in the air.
Okay.
Okay, I'm on throttles.
All right. I'm trying to get us on center line. I've got my weight on the heels, so I'm not holding the brakes, but man, she is a pig getting rolling.
Airspeed's line.
Okay, check.
110. 120.
E1. Rotate.
130.
Is that actually it? Okay.
Yeah, 128. We did.
Make sure I was going off his calls or yours.
E2.
Alright.
Oh, we're climbing fast. You can bring her up more.
Okay, here we go. Gear up, please.
Gear coming up.
Where's my trim? Which button is my trim here?
Trim up, trim down.
Okay.
We hit 170.
Alright.
I think I got you at flaps too, although I can't see it right now.
Alright. I've got speed climbing pretty well here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go nose down, so you're probably gonna be. Is that nose down?
Down, up. You're on up
Okay.
right now.
I was trying to bring it down to gain some speed. Wow. Alright, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna roll to the right
we're
here.
Hitting 200, so I think I'm cleaning you up. I'm gonna go take a peek really fast.
Yep, sure.
Yep.
Good. I'm gonna roll to a 30 degree.
I'm just watching your Eber now.
Alright.
Later, we're gonna want to remember. Oh,
I need to come back on the stick.
we have skipped a few things like landing lights and transponder.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Perfect. We'll get there, right? Alright, I'm gonna kinda hold this heading,
All right,
I think.
I'm bringing you back to hold 250 right now.
Okay, Raj. I'm gonna try and level us here.
FLYJSIM is on.
Like the actual FLYJSIM?
Yeah, is this the actual FLYJSIM and not just somebody with FLYJSIM and the cool
Speed.
chair logo?
Speed check.
Alright.
Look at that climb rate.
Alright, well I can't talk to you right now, but
We're trying to fly the plane.
but to FLYJSIM in the comments, we are both sitting for real in the same room flying this. Oh, awesome. It's the real FLYJSIM. Thank you. We're going to take your word for it.
We're trying to not destroy your work either. Thanks.
And yeah, actually, this is our preferred two-man aircraft. This is about the third time we've flown it together because it's just it's not a one-man job.
Speed.
Okay, I'm bringing it back. You
Yeah.
just want to climb faster?
Yeah, I'm trying to climb. Well, I'm trying to track that I'm going to try and make a left turn to try and track that 342. It was climbing like a rocket, and then I was trying to bring it down, and that wasn't working. My manual flying skills are a little rusty, if that isn't obvious.
Oh, we have 2 FLYJSIM people on right now.
Perfect.
All right, well, if you just got here, we are on our way to Fairbanks, Alaska, where we're going to try and do some radio procedures to bring us in.
So, what's our flap situation? Are we up by this point?
Oh yeah, we're clean.
Okay.
I think we're
All
clean.
right. Let's try and get this.
Let's take a peek there.
All right. Let's try and get this bad boy over to some automation too before I fly it into a ditch or a hill.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Since you got the old school Boeing logic. I've got nav up on the glare shield. Okay, we have VOR. We're tracking there. Altitude set. Oh yeah, we didn't do any after takeoff checklist. Although with my slow climb, we haven't even reached that altitude.
We never turn these on, but we'll go turn them back off later.
Right. Unless we forget again.
All right.
Good thing Tim's here. See, he's keeping me honest on this. He has the, well, both of us have a few flights on this, right? You don't have the Dash 8. I've got the Dash 8 Legacy. I think we got one video on the channel on that.
Oh, right. Which I've never actually even been around
I don't
to watch
think
you
you've flown
fly
that
it.
one.
No,
Yeah.
so I don't know much about it. FLYJSIM wants to know if we're having fun. So
yeah, we're having fun. It's like well, we're a little older, I think, than some. Well, we might be right about the target demographic age. So we're old enough to remember when going over to your friend's house and playing video games until you had fingers on your blisters was a thing. So this is kind of like that.
right. So it's not Super Mario and Mortal Kombat anymore.
Yeah,
now
that's
it's,
true.
Now it's Flight Sim. Now, in our precious time not at work, we pretend to do other people's work in the most realistic way possible for no pay.
Yeah, that's true. Man, that we're passing on our speed here.
120 plus what? Not sure what he's
Yeah, I screwed that up.
Hey, just looking at our DME.
How do I redo that?
What are you trying to redo?
I trimmed and it kicked off the autopilot.
Yeah,
There we go.
don't trim. You need to
Do
go
I need
back
to
and
reselect?
put us back in one left. Toggle.
Yeah.
And then go back up here because I need to see airspeed.
Yeah,
This is
we were
dropping.
getting fast, so I was trying to trim
And
those up.
We are almost on, so I want us to. We're gonna need to fly outbound soon. We need to fly 355. At about, I found at about 7
I've
or
got
8
airspeed
miles
decreasing.
DME that you really want to start initiating your turns. If you wait till 0,
My airspeed is decreasing really
okay,
bad
I'm
now.
bringing her up.
Okay.
Bringing her up. I just don't want to spiral. Can you get rid of the takeoff card?
Yeah.
It's over here.
I think.
Top
yeah.
left menu.
Here we go.
All right, so spin the heading to 355.
355 check.
All right, and then go down here
Yeah.
and punch heading and hit
Check.
alt again because you lost your altitude arm. There we
Oops,
go.
That was approach. No, go back down. I did approach.
No, you're
Or
good.
I did
you're
arm.
Good. No,
Okay.
no, you're good. You're good. It should
All
say
right.
arm because we're not actually at our target altitude yet.
I need to get my feet off your pedals too.
Yeah, and you can
Does that
just-
disconnect? Will that
just-
AP disconnect?
I don't think so. Just
Okay.
slide it, push the whole assembly forwards.
All right.
Okay, we are firewalled at the moment. EPR's pretty high.
Why
Looks
are
like
we?
we're getting a little bit of lag.
Is it that, or is it our climb rate is that garbage?
No, it's lag. I can see out the window. It looks kind of dewy.
Do we? Do we have D and anti-ice on? Because it should probably be on. What was your button? 3?
It's right here. Yeah. Open these guys.
Yeah. All right. Holy crap!
That's engines.
All
And
right.
those guys
So
are
those are
wings.
wing.
Here's cowls.
All right, back to 1.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right,
Figure.
hey, we're
I
on
turned.
top.
I turned them on as soon as we go through the
All
clouds.
right, yeah,
Perfect.
Let's see how it looks. Beautiful. There's the money shot for the for the thumbnail.
What was our next radial on our
All right.
way up to Fairbanks?
We're flying outbound 355, so you can tune Big
Right.
Lake 355
Okay.
because we're not picking up Fairbanks
Oh, the other
yet.
one yet?
So you might want to go back to nav so that it tracks the 355 outbound.
Oh, gotcha. There, and where are we at? Back here?
Down here.
I want to go back
one to the
to
left, nav loc. There you go.
All right.
And then go back
and
up
then
and see
let's
what's
make
happening.
sure she's turning.
So for everybody watching at home, if it seems like a hot mess, it's just because it's a lot of work. It can be done. It just, it's kind of amateur hour. We flight sim a lot, but
Not as much as we'd like because #life.
well, yeah, we both have some children under the age of 1 in our houses. Our dear wives have blessed us this afternoon by letting us do this. It's been scheduled for a week now just to make this happen. And the other thing is the channel, because we jump aircraft like we change socks. So there was a time when I used to fly the Zebo every day.
Yeah.
I must have done 300 hours nonstop in the Zebo. And when you do that, you don't make mistakes anymore. But when you spend one day in a 727, the next day in an MD-80, the next day in a turbolet, and then you jump back in the 727, you tend to kind of act like a buffoon.
Go back to that. Hey, we actually have questions coming in.
All right, sorry guys, we just look at the feed. I'm really bad at this.
We're trying to not crash this because if we do, well, it'll be on YouTube and, well, as long as they exist, I suppose.
All right, so somebody asked, Flying Jackal here, 120 plus what? That's not our age. If that's what these were following, sorry.
120 plus?
Yeah. No one here is 120
No,
plus. That's
no.
for sure. Not even our
Not
ages
even our
combined.
ages combined, but
Yep. We're in the high side of 30s. And
yeah, we definitely do remember Nintendos, with 2 buttons, and
certainly
you had to blow the cartridges out when you stuck it in there.
Right. We're not old enough to be ashamed of our ages, but maybe in a few years we'll be.
Well, in a few years, we won't care at all. We'll just be like, this is how
That's
we're
true.
old, who cares?
Benefits.
Yeah, we're in our mid to late 30s.
Benefits of being men.
Yeah.
Yeah, so FLYJSIM, oddly enough, our wives were actually the buddies, and when we met together at social functions, at some point we discovered that we're both flight simmers, and that was pretty much the end of it. All we wanted
And
to talk
airplane
about
nerds.
was airplanes.
Yeah, airplane nerds in general.
So there's a meme on the internet of a guy sitting in a swing all by himself, and it's like when you're at a party and everyone's doing XYZ and all you want to do is talk about airplanes. That's us. And so once we found each other, we actually shun other people at parties. We've been known to go and hide so we can sim while other people do their party thing.
Yeah, or talk about it, or just anything to kind of get away. We have our day jobs, and simming is the other part, and we'd much rather talk about the other part.
Well, honestly, yeah, I think flight sim is a perfect fantasy escape world. It's fun, it's engrossing.
You can take it as serious as you want.
Yeah, and it's translatable. I mean, quite honestly, if a lot of these skills we can, and hopefully at some point will take out into the real world.
Sure, yeah.
Russell says parties are overrated. I agree, Russell.
Yeah.
We're not completely introverts, either one of us, but we are introverted enough that parties
Altimeter
are
setting.
a little boring.
I got it. Standard. Or do you have a
Nope.
do you have a button?
Nope.
Okay.
2992.
Do you have a hotkey for FO?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, 6.
Okay, there we go.
I misunderstood the question.
Yeah, it probably wasn't your understanding. It was probably my communication.
And did you set the
There you go.
standby? I wasn't.
I do not have standby.
Okay, go back. It's hiding under here behind your yoke. So, FLYJSIM, while we got you on the horn here, 707. I am a serious classic airplane geek, and I have the Michael Wilson 707, and it's fine. But then once I bought your aircraft, it wasn't fine anymore because I had something to compare it to. So if you ever get tired of making Dash 8s and whatever else you've got coming out, I'd really love a 707 that is this quality level. It might just be me. There might be no profit margin other than this guy.
Well, it starts with flight sim, ends in a home cockpit.
Right.
Well, as much as we'd like to do that, we would like to get flying in the real world and figure out how to in the big pipe dream. It'd be nice to take our love of aviation into the real world and also keep it still rooted in the sim. So if we can somehow figure out how to merge flight sim and real world, I think that would be really cool. I mean, that would be just like turning a hobby into a job, and then it may not be a job.
Oh, so there we go. We got some love for the 707 here.
Well, oh yeah, Russell's in on that. I guess you got at least 2 sold.
So, Russell, the AN-24, that's what, a high-wing twin turboprop, right? Maybe like a 50, 60 passenger.
It looked actually kind of like a Dash 8 in a way, right? It had the spindly landing gear that came down, kind of a high wing-ish.
It's probably the preferred regional aircraft of North Korea.
That might be true. Hey, we're getting up a little high here on our speed.
Oh, no, we're not. Well, we need to be at Mach 0.82.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing 7. Oh, you have already got us bugged.
Yeah, this is from the non-fuel sipping days.
That's true.
Back when
Concorde flew.
Back when people built jet aircraft thinking they could sell them because they're faster than the rest.
Faster than walking.
Hashtag Convair. Hashtag Concorde.
What was the... You're the big British guy. What was the one that had... Was it the Comet that had the engines kind of inboard in the inboard wing?
Yeah, in the wing. Comet was built into the wing.
I wonder how that was aerodynamically compared to... I mean, imagine it'd be a maintenance nightmare having to work on engines in the wing.
Yeah, maintenance nightmare. Not to mention if
FOD,
you
slower.
spit a compressor blade.
Well, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of bad news, but it was their first jetliner. They found the problems, and you notice they ditched that
true.
setup immediately.
They usually stop making aircraft for a reason. Sorry, we're getting back over to the chat here. Well, Tim is. I'm doing a poor job of monitoring our flight, which for any of you, I keep forgetting. Like, all people are seeing is this.
Oh yeah, sorry. You guys want to look around?
Should we put it on an external? You may not be able to hear us, so.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, we got a duct overheat.
Click
What's that?
click this reset.
All right.
Life is good.
Why do we get? Oh, I need to.
No, it's good.
Oh, I need to close the anti.
The what? Oh yeah.
The ice.
Hit 3.
3 was your overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, no, I just floating that to you, FLYJSIM. We're sure you're very busy, and we are actually very interested in the shared flight.
Yeah.
What we've heard about it, it certainly is interesting, and we suspect that we're oddballs. That like flight simmers just don't know other flight simmers. I think by nature we're more introverted sorts of people. The sort of people that would spend thousands of dollars to sit around and pretend they're flying an aircraft and be thrilled with that.
Well, it's hard to go to a social gathering and a lot of people talk about here in the States, football, or maybe in other parts of the world, soccer or their football.
Football.
But no one, you don't really open and go, hey, I'm Lee, nice to meet you. I'm into flight sim.
Right.
It's not an icebreaker at a party.
You
generally.
play that one close to the vest.
Yeah.
Although, I will admit, I have a coworker I just discovered is a flight simmer. And he only does infinite flight on a tablet. And so I have an idea for a video. I want to bring him over here.
Ooh.
He loved the idea. I floated the idea to him the other day. And you would have thought I offered to take him to Disneyland.
Hey, not to We're getting off again here. Do we need to switch this over?
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Do we have? Yes.
Was 108.6? Was that our?
You're good. Okay, so we're 148 miles out from Fairbanks.
Okay, 1,000 to go.
We're briefed to begin descent at 90 miles.
Perfect.
So we have about 50 miles to chew the fat here.
Okay. All right, I've got an alt.
But yeah, so
Wait, is that the right frequency?
double checking here.
108.6 was
Fairbanks 108.6.
Okay,
correct.
perfect.
And if
hey, do you guys want to look at the outside of this?
If you've done that,
Yeah.
let's go toggle the FO's radio to the localizer for
Okay.
two left. So that's our 109.1.
Would you mind taking over there as pilot in command? I'm going to go
right.
see if we can stop that Christmas bell or whatever is dinging in the kitchen.
Well, FLYJSIM can start talking about it there in the comment thread, but basically the shared flight, as I understand it, will be a server-based shared cockpit where you can log in and share the cockpit with somebody via the internet, and that will solve the problem of flight simmers not knowing other flight simmers.
While I'm up, do you want to refill on anything?
And FLYJSIM, you are certainly welcome and have our permission to share a link to that. So far as we're concerned, you're saving us work. Half of why we're doing this today is to just kind of get the word out about this aircraft and VOR flying. We just
No one does it.
yeah, we're no more auto land videos. My God. Stop it, people. Seriously, guys. I mean, I know I'm a geek and I sit around flying a fake airplane, but
Just plural it up. Well, let's own it.
But to get on your computer, to jump in a fake airplane, to program the fake computer, to fly the fake airplane for you so you can sit for 5 hours to watch it, and then it auto lands? Come on. I want to do something. I want to fly the airplane.
We've got a couple coming in. Where were you at? How far did you get down this comment? We've got, let's see.
I was right there.
Okay. So we got some link sharing here, whatever. Okay, no worries. Where are you located? We're in Phoenix.
Sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah.
You ever run out of sunshine, we've got it for you.
That's true.
All right,
Matter of fact, you can have some of it. We'll send it your way now.
Speed. Yeah, it's only about 110, 112 out there today.
No,
as it has been for the last 45 days or so.
I had to go out and do some work at work last night, and I think it was at 8, and I think it was 107.
But you know what? It's a dry heat.
Yeah, so's an oven. That's what I like to follow that one up.
It literally feels like an oven here.
Are we on your Discord? We don't know what Discord is. One of our commenters or something asked about it, and
I wasn't going to admit to that, but now that you cat's out of the bag. I've seen people talking about Discord. I have an idea what it might be, but I just haven't looked. So long story short, no, we're not on your Discord, but
right,
sounds like we will be soon.
We don't have one. Yeah. Why are we syncing? Why do we gotta?
It's adjusting to my reductions in EPR.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Hey.
Lisa MMC, hello. It looks like we've got a wave in from.
Oh, look at that.
Is that how you pronounce that? Lisa? Lisa? But what are we doing? Oh, we got clouds coming in. Great.
I think they were calling for clouds at 20 and 30. I don't know. We could go check.
20, 30 million.
Now might not be a bad time to go pull up and at least tune the radios.
A non-departure chart. Oh, hey, I got
Fairbanks.
those here.
So here's that new update Avatab, and while we're in cruise for a moment, I have noticed that whatever is making my frame rate cranky is kind of Avatar related. But I put in the aircraft folder the FLYJSIM manuals, which thank you, gentlemen. These manuals
Fantastic.
are a nerd's dreams. Actually, quite honestly, I think the reason we're YouTubers and not just YouTube watchers is because we're the dorks that actually read these.
That's true, yeah.
I will neither confirm nor deny that over $100 has been spent having these things printed in color at times.
No. The number is higher than that.
We're over 100 now?
No, we're a couple times over that.
Honestly,
I think Staples is.
I think the
glad to have a
Zibo
business.
manual is probably the #1 most expensive thing we printed. But, so yeah, the great thing is you can load the brief in here. I hope everybody who's following along already found our Facebook, because we shared this imagery for you.
Right, yeah.
But
that was all on Tim. Good thinking on Tim there.
It's because I got up at 6 a.m. this morning. I had like 8 hours to think about our impending live stream. So we've got that. You can pull the manual. I had already opened up a million charts.
The manuals were me. Is that Delaney?
124 for.
You're welcome, and thanks for the comment. No, these are, a lot of. I haven't owned one in X-Plane, but I had a couple like Aeronautical, for example, and I think Aeronautical gets a little bit of crap out there. Visually they seem to be well. I guess there's, I'm not qualified to make a statement one way or the other, but just based on what everyone's putting out on social media, Aeronautical airplanes look nice, they'd fly okay, and there's no support for the manuals or whatever. So, the level of detail that you guys and Flight Factor is another one that we've got a lot of respect for, that build really detailed aircraft and they bring good manuals, something you can use. You can hop in it and fly it if you want, do the engines running, and then, actually learn the systems and read the manual if you're kind of one of those learners as well.
Here's been one of the fun things with this FlyJ. At the time I was making this tutorial, Captain Mike Martin, who we follow on Facebook, who's a retired airline captain from Braniff, Muse, and American. He got bounced all over there, but he flew the 727 and the Mad Dogs, and the guy is just an absolute airplane nerd, and I mean that in a great way. I mean, I love him, because how many pilots have you met that don't take pictures of aircraft and they don't geek out about it? Well, Mike geeks out the way we do. And so he's sharing pictures of the flight engineers panel and pictures of the takeoff performance cards. And I mean, there's not one tidbit he's shared that I couldn't find perfectly simulated here. And, that was just joyful, because we're giant dorks. Like, what are those DVD series we have?
Oh, the flight deck DVDs from it's ITVV. I think they're out of business now. They're selling their stock down, but we bought all of them.
Yeah, it's literally all.
Like all of their everything they had.
If they made it, we own it.
Yeah.
And so, like, when Concorde came out, we're like trying to watch that, and granted, I think we're kind of glad that the cockpit complexity was not
real life,
right? Because that's a 3-man crew also, but at Mach 2. The margin of error is less.
Hey, let me catch up on some comments here. We've got
and we're 5 miles from
Liza, thank you for the live stream. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Private sim pilot just landed the Zibo hard at Juneau, so it's Alaska Day today. Yes, it is. Enjoying the old school. Thanks for tuning in and watching us. Appreciate that. Russell, is there an email address? Actually, there is an email address. We got it on our About section, don't we?
Are we Flight Brothers?
Yeah, Flight Bros FT, BROSFT. Flight Bros FT at Gmail. And I believe it's in the About section, and we may have it stashed on our Facebook. I don't know. It's out there anyway.
If you are playing along at home, we are about 90 miles out from Fairbanks. And so, according to our sim brief, this is when we need to start descending. So that's what we're gonna do.
And thank goodness Tim is flying this, because his classic Boeing and classic aircraft knowledge in general is way better than mine. So I'm glad this is his leg. I was happy to take the departure. Plus, with his rudder pedals and me not using those, it's yet another element for disaster.
Yeah, we figured if there was a crosswind that it was just going to end in tears.
FlyJ says, yeah, I think it'd be a conflict of interest to talk about other aircraft, but we're focused. No, seriously, really enjoy the airplanes. We both discussed about picking up the 732 as well, so that is on our list. And we are watching, as I mentioned earlier, I have the Dash 8 Q400 Legacy. I'm waiting on the Q4 XP, so we've been watching that one for at least since the beginning of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been watching it for a while, so looking forward to that.
Just for fun, here, this is what I was telling you earlier, though. This is not in any way an aircraft like error. It's just a challenge of simulating levers. Is to get to this radar while you're got the thrust levers forward. So
sure.
So we'll see if any of those clouds actually generate a signal. I know we saw things earlier. Ooh,
I'm bringing thrust back.
Put her about 1.4.
1.4.
Yeah, that'll
Decreasing.
Oh, that's right. Actually, just cut throttle.
All right. I'll bring back. You want slightly above idle?
No, just kill it. Idle. All right, guys. Teachable moment. Nope. Fire off the horn. Kill it.
What? Fire off the horn?
So.
Okay.
Because this thing glides just so nicely, and that horn's irritating. If you didn't know it, right here is the horn cutout. And you're welcome.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, because I used to do what Lee was trying to do there and just fly with the throttle cracked so you wouldn't have to hear that horn. But, we want to get this thing done. So while we're descending here, let's keep an eye on the airspeed as well as let's brief what we're planning to do. So if you watch the mouse, I'll try and talk you through it, guys, here. I did outline it on the Facebook, but it might be confusing. We are tuned up to fly to FAI, which is right here in the circle. So right now, we are in nav, aren't we? Yep.
Yeah.
She's tracking this way, which will bring us across the approach to runway 2 left. So we have tuned up on nav 2, the first officers, this 109.1. So as we pass over, we expect to get the signal, and we will then turn to intercept that localizer. But rather than try and throw everything into the breeze and just slam this thing down, we've decided we're going to go out and overfly the airport sort of at a pattern altitude, turn right, just a standard rate turn there, and we'll come back parallel to the approach course. Then when we get out here, we're going to do this little dog leg that's been charted for us. So we'll turn 155, and then we'll swing it back to 335. We'll be configured at 2,100 feet. We'll come in here. When we see DME 7 to the ILS localizer, we will know we're at cache, and cache will begin. Scroll down here. How are we doing on speed? Looking good. All right. The 3-degree glide slope to the runway. Now,
we are only dropping, by the way, about 1,000 a minute.
All right.
We may want to get closer to 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Let's keep an eye on that airspeed.
Sorry, yeah,
If we get up to about Mach 0.8, let me know, and I'll drop something out to slow us down.
Sure.
So
hang in the breeze.
I'm going to use the autopilot on auto approach mode, because it's going to help get everything trimmed up, and it can handle the configuration change as we get the flaps set a lot faster than I can. Then at about 1,000 feet, I'll probably use my trim to kick the autopilot out of command, and I'll fly it the rest of the way to the runway manually, where I hope this time I will land in the touchdown zone. I did a little trial run this morning, and I landed a bit long. It was a very nice landing, nothing to complain about other than it wasn't in the touchdown zone. Yeah. So technically a no-go, but for the flight sim world, I'm sure it was still more than acceptable.
Hey, I'm going to hop over here to the chat again, if you don't mind there. Let's see. We already mentioned FlyJ right there, the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Okay. Lay Kester. Hello, flight brother captains. Hi,
Howdy.
Lay. Nice to. Thanks for joining us here. Let's see. All right. Thank you. I will you a soft landing. I think that's a wish. Thanks, Russell. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Looks like he's checking out for the night. FlyJ, thanks for the support. Hey, thanks for the great aircraft.
And for those of you who are curious, we are on our descent, so we do expect to be on the ground here. Oh,
Somewhat soon.
Yeah,
We got 50 miles.
Yeah, we got 50 miles pretty much to the airport. So there's not a whole lot left to this trip today, other than seeing how epic my landing may or may not be.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know, I gotta admit, you probably do this too. When you watch a flight video, if you get bored, you still skip to the end just to watch the landing, right?
Well, that's, in all honesty, that's the most exciting part is the takeoff and landing.
Oh, absolutely. It's that's the money shots.
It looks like we have a flight attendant request over here, Tim. How awesome would that be to get something right now? Get a little coffee or tea. Thanks, Lay, for the offer. Appreciate it.
It's a little late in the day for that much caffeine, but otherwise,
Speak for yourself.
sounds good. Look at this wing flex. Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah. Oh, can I give
International
Never mind.
Information Romeo. 1400 Zulu weather. Wind 050 at 8.
050 at 8.
Visibility 10. Sky conditions 9,000 scattered, 15,000 broken. Temperature 16. Dew point 7. Altimeter 2966. Arriving runway 02 left. Departing runway 20 right. Advise on initial contact you have Romeo.
I missed something there. What was visibility?
V10.
Okay.
We have an altitude disagree because I've set the co-pilot 2966 already, just so I don't have to ask you later.
Fairbanks International Information Romeo.
And
1400 Zulu.
That came in at exactly the time I pulled up here to actually see. So to compare, I'll recap actually what the game has, and then I'll read another a METAR from another site. So we had 050 at 8, visibility 10, 9,000 scattered, 15,000 broken. Temp dew point is 16 and 7, and 2966. And then in the real world, we have winds at 080 at 9, so pretty close. Visibility 10, which matches. Few at 9,000, scattered at 15,000, broken 25. So those were. Looks like the real world's a little less cloudy than our world.
Hey,
was it? I don't know if that's Stijin or Stijn, but hey, welcome. Altimeter 2964 in the real world and 66 in the sim. So
all right,
pretty close.
Transition's what, 18,000 feet usually?
18, yeah.
All right, so we got a little ways to go before we officially transition. This is the altitude disagree on the instrument comparator, so another highly accurate thing. Thank you, FlyJ. We can cancel it because
It's there and acknowledged.
But that's because this is set to 2966, and the captain's is set to 2992, which is standard pressure.
Now, will you get a disagree also, even if the standby is off?
I don't think so. I believe these are
only
just
the mains
linked
Okay.
there because that's not the function of the standby.
Sure.
Is not to. I mean, I believe
backup.
most of what this is for is to alert you that you might have an erroneous gauge.
Sure.
Whereas this is to supplement instrument loss.
Okay.
That is my expectation. I could be wrong.
35 and 20,000 feet. We seem still a touch high, yes?
Well, we're only coming down to about
2,100, right?
2,100.
Well,
and so that's 18,000 feet to go. And bearing in mind we're going to go out, circuit the airport, okay. I think we should be all right. Although I did start our descent a little slow. Pretty clear out to the left here.
Well, that was my bad too, because I think I was busy over here instead of watching the. I was being a bad first officer. How about that?
You see,
I'll just own it.
Quite honestly, there has to be two of us to stream because I like talking. and
Right.
I start missing things bad.
And I only have certain amounts of capacity. I can either fly fairly well or interact fairly well, but I can't do both.
We never turn these on.
Yeah, of course, whatever.
2 seconds will be time to turn it back on.
Yeah, that's okay. We should have used the checklist because they're on there.
Oh yeah.
You haven't even used the checklist.
I'm sorry, kids.
Let's pop that out.
If you didn't see this, here's a checklist.
It's also in the video, right?
It's
You
in the
had it
video,
the
and you
tutorial.
can edit this, which that was a fantastic feature. You can go in and edit this, which really, one day when I'm not lazy, I should do. But I'll be honest, I'm a dork, and I have a kneeboard and an actual 50-page spiral ring checklist binder, and I like to print mine out and actually use real
them.
paper. And so this on-screen one is fantastic. It's a great feature. I just don't use it. Here, Descent and Approach, we could see about this. We never actually told people they could get up. Sit back down.
Whatever.
Best sound in the whole sim.
There's several people. I mean, this flight is shorter in duration than some departure delays to LA, for slot times. So
Yeah.
Altimeter setting.
Well, that's the beauty of the sim. We don't have to worry about this inconveniences. 2966?
6.6.
All right, and the FOs is already set.
It's going to be really bad when we do one of these on VATSIM.
Yeah.
We should probably do a few of these to. VATSIM is on our. It's on our radar to do one. However, we're going to try and not embarrass ourselves too quickly.
See, if we get on VATSIM, I'm going to admit. We're landing in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Fairbanks, Alaska. Papa Alpha Foxtrot Alpha.
If we do VATSIM, I think we're going to be lame and just put on an FMC and pretend it's the late 90s because that's just a bridge too far. And streaming it, that's even trickier. Just even on system resources.
Yeah, just resources.
I was going to turn on Project Fly so you could all watch my little airplane graphic Transit Alaska, but I don't think it's going to happen now. Hey, we're populating on the plate.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't have Navigraph, if you flight sim more than once a month, just pony up the dough. You won't be sorry you did it. When I first saw, subscription $10 a month, trust me, you won't miss it.
Or you can just shell out the $120 a year and be done with it.
So we're about to get to what I would call a sterile
busy
cockpit
time.
moment. We're going to try and intercept this 1091, and I'm not going to keep looking over here, so you can look at our Facebook to see the chart, but I want you to know that we're actually flying the radios and not using the Avatab as a poor man's GPS. So here we go. We're showing 15 on the FOs, and what's the course?
020.
So I'm going to tune this to 020.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, let's stay over here for a minute.
And can you confirm 109.1 on the nav radio?
109.1,
Check.
and I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring this over to 109.1.
Okay.
So the captain's is on standby, and I'm going to turn my heading selector to 020,
Okay.
so that when we see the needle deflect, we can go heading mode and start turning.
I like it.
And I think it's time we pull a little speed brake because we are hot and high.
Yeah.
And we might end up performing more of a holding pattern over the airport at this rate. Hey, here comes our weather or terrain.
We do have terrain to the north. Not super high. 1,000, 2,000 feet looks like, according to the chart.
All right. Speed brake's out, guys. So that's the flight detent. If you're wondering, you can see it there on the back of the wing.
Actually, that's probably on a mountaintop. I bet that VOR sits
right.
up there.
You can see we're getting a little bit of lag in my system again.
Sorry. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I think that's more the streaming, guys. I don't have these issues when I'm not broadcasting it to the world.
But we're glad to do it, and glad you guys are taking your time to watch it at some point.
I just don't want you to be dissuaded and think this bird some kind of massive hog on resources.
No, our quality is generally this poor. This is what we shoot for.
All right. Okay, I just went heading select because I saw the needle coming in there through the lag.
Okay. So how far outbound are we going to go?
Starting to turn. It depends how high up we are.
Okay.
Right now we're still at 12. There we go.
So we're just going to burn altitude?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, make sure. Yeah, we definitely want to stay. You're doing right turns out, right?
Yep. So I'm going to toggle the captains over, and I will turn this to 020. Yeah, we're going to take right turns because left turns would put us into terrain.
Our MSA is 4,500.
4,500. So, tell you what, I'm going to set maybe 3,000.
Yeah. Say 2,100 is our glide slope intercept.
So at this point, we should be. Actually, let's go put us actually on track. There we go. I'm putting it into nav. So it should go track the localizer until we overfly it, which is going to happen here pretty shortly. So you can see, so we're planning to come on up, we're going to overfly, continue to bleed altitude, then we'll come back parallel to it, and we're going to take this little dog leg. By then we should be at an acceptable altitude to make an actual approach.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. If you're just tuning in, we're not quite on final approach, but we are on approach. We're descending down here.
We're basically flying a pattern, so this would be what, downwind?
Yeah. No, upwind.
Upwind?
Yeah, this would be upwind.
Downwind's when we turn around?
Yeah.
So a downwind, crosswind, upwind, downwind, upwind, crosswind, downwind, base, final. There it is.
Yeah.
I'll get it straight one of these days. Before we go flying for real, I promise to have figured that out.
It may show up on a test.
This will be on the quiz.
Yeah, either a written test or perhaps a oral proficiency check. Yeah.
You know, we've made it through most of the stream, and no one's asked us about our clouds.
That's what Facebook's for. You can talk about clouds on Facebook.
Just a little ragging on you guys. If you talk about clouds and auto land, then we strongly suggest you start playing with VORs.
Honestly, we really don't care. It's just one of those things that
just cracks us up a little.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't go looking for bad weather when we do a flight and we end up in it. If it's clear, then it's clear.
And we are set to real world weather if you're curious.
Yeah, as I think nearly all of our videos are, right?
Yeah,
I think
I've only ever tweaked the weather on occasion to make some gorgeous sunsets.
Yeah. For your Alaska and the beach 18, right?
No, I think that was actually the weather.
Oh, okay.
That was actually the weather. But I've had some of my Pan Am series where I've generated some picture perfect sunsets for us because why not?
I know what did I do? I did something about ILSs where I flew the Robin and the Zebo and I think the Cessna. It was one of those ILS approach videos. So when I started the video, it was real world, but I had to make low clouds and a ceiling and everything to shoot the final Zebo approach.
So, real quick, let's just talk through this. It looks like DME is counting up, so we should be about 4 miles past the airport. So I'm going to initiate a 90-degree right turn. We're at 7,000, and we're hoping to drop down to about 3 at the moment. So I think we can easily do that. The turn in particular is going to bleed some speed.
Okay.
Currently, our airspeed's still over 250, so that's way too hot for me to stick out the
Anything?
flaps. All the slats. Oops, sorry. Toggle the weather radar. Slats 245, so we can do that soon.
Okay. What do you want from me?
I don't know, but check out what I just did. I messed up the weather radar. I was trying to scroll, guys. I think I set the range to something completely wonky.
160.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, that looks a little better.
Beautiful.
And there's our ILS ident. Oh no, that's our outer marker.
Alright, so we're going to swing this because we're almost to the 90 degree. We're going to swing it back so we've made our full 180 degree, which you will notice will match the course bug for the runway, just the opposite direction.
Yeah, 200 outbound, right?
Right, okay, we just lost the glide slope signal. There's a red flag.
That's okay.
Not a big deal. We're just flying this by the numbers right now. We are picking up the DME to the localizer, though, 7 miles.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so we want to fly. I'm going to tune Fairbanks back up here at 1086 on the
On 2?
on nav 2 because there's a DME ring somewhere. I thought it was on this chart. Weird. You've got DME rings on your chart.
Well, yeah, these
I
are.
don't know. At 10 DME, I don't know why it's not showing up there, guys.
Well, there's 7.
But
right?
at
Cash.
10 DME, we're going to turn here. We have rings on the chart I printed out, so I don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter. At 10 DME, we're going to turn left to 155. And then as soon as we make that course, we'll turn immediately back to 335.
To intercept the 020 final approach course.
Right, so that'll let us get back on, and by then we're... Oh, hey, look, we made our altitude.
Yep.
So let me retract the speed brake. Speed brake is retracted. Slats extending. All right, we are only at slats right now. So DME is at 4, and we're flying, we'll be at sort of a diagonal to that DME, so that number is going to be irrelevant for a moment because we're not actually flying at it or directly away from it, but past it, because it's lateral.
Well, distance is okay, though, because it still works, right? You have that slant range?
Well, it works. My point is it's not... we're not going to rely on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not really a gauge of what we want.
Right.
Okay, now comes the time we need to pay attention to airspeed. We're
Okay.
dropping under 200.
How can I assist here? Do a landing set bugs?
Yell at me if I
Okay.
look like I'm going to miss something.
All right.
I'm pretty comfortable running these myself.
Good.
And, yeah, so since we're in my sim and not Lee's, things will get pretty hot and interesting. They'll be like, where's the flaps button?
Yeah, what button does this one thing?
So I'm going to handle those myself at the moment. So we're at slats. DME is coming up at 6, so we got 4 miles to go. And then we'll turn left.
It's,
We are still tuned.
where are we going? We going past Cache?
Yes, we're going to pass Cache. And then we take our left-hand turn, come back around, and then we grab our final heading. The moment of truth. Can I land this thing under pressure?
I don't know, but I'm just overwhelmed with suspense right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna have a beverage. You want me to refill your glass?
There we go. It's just like a car ride, guys. The
Yeah.
co-pilot's job is the radio.
Radio
And
operator and
beverages.
drinks dispenser.
It's not that different than the car ride.
And if any of you can actually find a Av Geeky Sim friend, we encourage it. Because you know what's lost in 2019? Interpersonal communication. Everybody can text and put on Facebook what they think.
Right. Well, not to mention, I've learned a lot here flying with Lee because he's actually been through most of ground school
ground school,
and had a lot of other formal aviation training for work. I don't work in aviation, so I don't get to talk about airplanes all day until I hang out with Lee.
That's true. And for what it's worth, I'm the only one, I think, at work that talks about airplanes. So,
which is weird because he works at an airport.
Right.
And they just don't, they don't geek out about it. So,
yeah.
There for the paycheck.
Well, there's some people, it's still, it's a job. I mean, it pays the bills.
All right, we set bugs. We've got that all ready to rock.
Yeah, bugs.
We've got lights, camera action. Ding dong.
We still never turned on our transponder.
I did in the middle of the flight, just randomly.
No, it's off.
It's off? No, it's on. It's on.
Oh, is it? Oh,
it's just
okay.
the tail points towards on.
I got you. All right. Perfect.
I will probably move our viewpoint up when we're landing,
Sure.
just because I noticed the glare shield keeps me from seeing. It's probably just where I have my viewpoint set, but. All right, DME 7.
So where are we going now? Like, where should we be?
We are paralleling.
I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it?
I don't want to see it.
Hold on, stabilizer's out of trim, which means we are probably. What's going on
Stab
there?
out, huh?
Well, I've noticed if you see stabilizer out of trim, odds are you haven't been paying attention to your EPR, and the
Okay.
stabilizer's going nuts.
It's trying to keep the aircraft airborne.
Keep you at your altitude.
Yeah.
And so normally when you see stabilizer out of trim, a second later you're going to see your airspeed go bad places.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to bug for 2100?
Yeah, 2100's our intercept.
All right, we're bugging for 2100.
And we're 200 heading, so we're still outbound.
Right, we
8
just
miles.
need 2 more miles, and
Okay.
then we'll take our turn. We're going nice and slow. That's part of it. We're only doing about 180 right now.
This cache is actually 7 miles off the ILS.
We're already past the ILS. This one's tuned to ILS right now,
Yeah.
and this one's tuned to.
Okay, yeah, so we're out here.
Right, so I'm giving us a rather generous
Yeah.
space before cache because I'd like to be fully configured at cache to avoid the chances of me landing like a moron.
Fair enough.
All right, here comes DME 10, so let's do it. Left to 155.
155 out, yep.
All right, coming left to 155. All right, after 155, what is our
335.
335 will be our return course,
Yeah.
and then we're going to pick up
Your
the
bug
localizer.
155, right?
Yes.
Are you going to fly out on that in 30 seconds or anything?
Not really. I'm just going to turn it around once we,
Okay.
like right about now.
Okay.
Okay, coming right to 335.
Some audio pops on. That's fine. Yeah, 335. VOR glide slope.
Is this one 33? That's 33, right?
What? Yeah.
Okay, so this will be 335.
Yeah. That is the one downside to the 727 is
Right.
that the tick marks are about the same size.
Right, you'd think they would do like 10s and 5s,
Yeah,
but
like
since
the-
they're all
Like the VOR
the
one.
same size, yeah, like what, or the airspeed indicator. I mean,
Yeah.
they all have. It's the only one where they didn't do that. It's very strange. Boeing, what were you thinking? All right, we're getting down to our 2100.
Got another stab out.
It's all right. I'm on the throttle watching. I want
Speed
to start
190.
bringing us down. Our VREF is 128.
Okay.
The bugs are set, and we're gonna go
You're
flaps
at flaps
30.
5 now, right? Is it the first notch 5 or 10? You got like 2 notches out.
We're at
5.
5. About to go 15.
Okay.
Okay, going flaps 15. And then I think I can put this in approach mode now.
Okay. Do you want gear down at 15 as well?
And hopefully that will come in.
Speed 150.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. We are getting pretty slow.
Okay.
Stabilizer's really
yeah,
fighting
it's
it.
running.
Okay. I'm creeping us up because we don't want to stall.
Yeah.
Well, let's hold us there.
Glide
about one.
slope is active and high. So that's good. What do you want me to monitor? Just kind of everything and call out what I see?
And I see the needle starting to deflect.
Yeah, localizer deflection. We have capture on
And
localizer.
yep, she's doing it all for us. I'm not. That's not me.
Speed 140 decreasing.
That's fine. Let's watch that DME at DME 7. The show's on for real.
On the ILS?
We're approaching, yeah.
Or on the VR?
Nav 1.
Okay.
So let's jump up here and look out the window. And
Do you want to show people the chart too?
Let's peek. Bam! We are on it.
We're on it. Nailed it.
Here, you want to see what we actually just did? I'll try. Come on, we see the airspeed. We're good.
You're about 137.
Here, gentlemen, this is what we did. We flew right on in, right on track, over, out, swinging back, boom. Honestly, I think we did
pretty good.
better than I was anticipating.
Just for winging it. Can we get another ATIS check real quick just to see if we have a new one? It is 4:01 local time, so we might have had one.
International Information Romeo. 1400 Zulu weather. Wind 060 at 9.
Go flaps
Yeah.
20.
2010. Sky conditions 9,000 view, 15,000 scattered, 25,000 broken. Temperature 17.
Speed 135.
Altimeter 2964.
Got it.
Arriving
964 on the
runway 02
altimeter.
Left. Departing runway
964.
02 left.
Yeah.
Advise on initial contact.
We had a new
at
ATIS.
Romeo.
Well, good for you for checking.
The wind shifted slightly, but they're pretty much still zero. I think it was 060. We were 050 when we were out. Speed 130. Gear up.
All right. Put down the gear. It's a little early, guys. That's normally like a 5-mile thing. We're at 7. We're at cache. We're beginning our final descent. So I'm going flaps 30. I think that's the gear horn, but gear is coming out, so it should shut up in a minute.
You might want to check your heading bug too for 020.
All right, so the ship is chasing the localizer right now, which you may have noticed, the just back and forth and back and forth. When we get a little closer, I'm going to be taking over anyway, and hopefully that I'll be able to smooth that out a little bit. Okay, picking up some speed.
Speed
there.
136.
Oh, we need to descend. Oh, wait, it
No,
should be
the
doing
glide,
it itself.
Yeah, the glide slope's not even coming in yet.
All right.
You should be.
We are set for that.
See, about 3.8 miles is what this is showing on the
Okay,
chart.
I gave us too much throttle. She's not going to be able to descend 20 miles over ref. So this little caret here and down here, that's our glide slope indicator. So once we intercept the glide slope, it will start descending, and we want it to maintain right there, right on the center line, which for the first bit, the aircraft is going to handle because we have the autopilot set to capture the glide slope. But it's not going to be an auto land function, so I'm going to let it capture the glide slope, mostly because it does a really good job of trimming. You heard all of that noise here. That was the trim adjusting and readjusting to the throttle setting and the switch out to flaps 30. So rather than me spending all day fighting with that, we're going to let the automation work for us. That said, last 1,000
Speed
feet
130.
are all mine. Okay, I think the glide slope is beginning to move. Yes, it is.
You're gonna hang on till 1 dot. Is that where you're gonna take over?
I just, yeah, I'm thinking 1,000 feet. Our touchdown zone is 439 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crud.
Touchdown
Cruddy
elevation.
crud.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
I forgot to move the altitude select. I suspect you need to run it down to allow the it to chase the glide slope.
Okay. Yeah, 439 is the touchdown zone elevation.
Do I need to touch?
It should be as long as you're in that nav mode or something.
Yeah, VR low glide slope. I think we're good. Is she descending?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Well, barely. Let's see when
All
it
right.
crosses.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
All right. You want an eye point up so you can visual a little bit? Okay.
All right, sorry guys,
Good
I'm
luck.
moving the microphone a bit, so if that gets on your nerves, sorry. All right, we are configured for landing. The gear is down.
Gear's
We
down.
are flaps 30.
Flaps
We're
30.
descending at about a rate of 500, which
400.
typically it's going to be about 750. We
We're
are not really on localizer,
I'm going
and
to bring speed up just a little. We're right at VREF.
all right, sorry, I'm back on it.
Okay.
And there's the runway
Yeah, we
to
got
our
the lights.
right. We are high.
Yep. And we are
So I'm gonna, instead of increasing throttle, I'm just gonna dive us a tiny bit.
correct right. This is a much easier job sitting in the right seat than what you're doing right now.
I got the fun part.
1 dot high,
All right, airspeed's coming down.
half a dot right, or left, sorry.
So if you watched our stabilized approach, we're kind of at that. We're at the
barely there.
borderline. Yeah, one dot off and 10 over speed.
FlyJ says, still here, no pressure. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I need that reminder right now.
Yeah.
That was the time to launch that comment.
Yeah, glide on. Glide slope going high. Center line on. Speed 130.
All right, we're hitting a
Approaching
little
0
under glide
to
slope,
Yeah,
left.
you're good.
but I don't really want to mess with it.
Altitude 600. We're 1 dot low. We need to come up.
I'm more worried about my airspeed
Yeah.
at the moment. So.
Elevation's good. Airspeed 127.
If you didn't know this, these are not high bypass fans, so you really move them by the millimeter. If you just slam this thing back to idle, by the time you notice you've lost too much airspeed, you won't get it spooled up in time to save yourself,
Airspeed 128, right on VREF.
or you'll just start ballooning ridiculously all over the place, and it'll be nuts. Okay, so let's just pretend we can't see those lights, because I think it looks like we're gonna touch down
It's a
in the
displaced-
touchdown zone.
It's a displaced threshold too, so it looks a little off. You know, you got to go further to get there. 150. Speed VREF decreasing. Center.
100.
Inner marker. Speed 125.
50. 40.
All right,
30.
retarding the throttles.
20.
Coming back to idle.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Oh,
floating.
it's floating.
She's floating.
Oh.
There's the touchdown zone.
We got to go back and watch our video. Oh, you're in it.
Sweet. All right.
Nice.
Kicking out the spoilers. Let's do some reverse thrust action. Cleaning up the flaps.
We don't have the taxi chart, do we?
Oh, we're below 60. We're killing the thrust reversed. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's vacate the runway. I do
Yeah.
have the chart, but it's over here on the Avatar.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have everything cleaned up.
Yeah. What do you want to do? I can do some things. I can do
Light
tasks.
ground.
I mean, we flew, we took off, flew, taxied, and did everything with a few things forgotten, a few things added.
Here, let's see
Whatever.
where we be. Oh, looks like we're
We're
there.
at West Cargo.
Oh,
What-
we're
what
here.
are we flying?
We're
Oh.
Alaska.
Oh, okay, cool. We can just go park there.
Looks like United's here.
There's an Alaska straight ahead.
All right, let's see if. Yeah. All right. Hey, straight in parking. Rockstar parking, gentlemen. Yeah. No. No, I didn't fly the whole trip with the APU on. There it is,
Yeah,
boys.
well,
you know, I knew I had to screw up something, and that's gonna be it. Gosh. This is why
Well-
there's a checklist.
Yeah, and that's why you should follow them, because you missed it, I missed it, whatever. Yeah.
See, in my defense, you had the checklist, but in your defense, you don't really fly this aircraft very much, and I seemed pretty compelling, like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, well, that's, there was a touch of arrogance, but, it's all right.
That's why we do these videos, to keep us honest.
Melted tires. Yeah, thanks, FLYJ. We got to keep the rubber industry in business.
Yeah, so on that note,
You want to use the checklist to shut it down?
I tend to fly with maintenance off just for that reason. I don't always like to be reminded about how much I've just beat the crud out of these.
Hey, FLYJ, thanks for joining us. Go get some sleep. It definitely has been a pleasure. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a blast. Didn't even expect to have you here, so thank you much. All right, for those of you sticking around, I believe we just put... I need to trip these. We're going to put the APU
Online.
back on the bus, and if I know what I'm doing, which is debatable... Okay, maybe I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm going to shut down the engines.
Are you going to use the
That'll
checklist?
be that. No, honestly... I'm going to make an admission. I've never read the shutdown checklist.
That's
because
horrible.
when I get to the gate, flight's over, kids.
Right, you're just like, I got other business to tend to.
Usually, during the entire approach, the real life is knocking at the door,
Right.
calling me, beckoning me to do other tasks.
That are not final approach.
Bing bong, people, we're home. All right, well... I'm just arbitrarily turning things off here. That seems like a good way to start.
We didn't even set auto brakes. Did we? I don't think we set it on approach. That may have helped.
We may have skipped a few things,
That
like
may have helped.
brakes. We were having a really good time talking to you all, and
That's true.
This is only our second time live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
When we're just sitting here talking to each other, we already know each other's stories, so there's less to BS about, and
But we generally find something.
right, but I feel like we miss less things when we're not broadcasting to the world.
Well, of course.
So,
How good would a stream be if there weren't errors?
okay, what's the APU is on.
Yeah. Are the fields closed?
This is a mystery to me, guys. It could just be because I flew with it.
Closed.
Oh, wait.
It's not on.
It's set on, but it's not on.
It's not on 'cause
because
of
you
the-
can't fly with it on. This has been my suspicion all along, is that its location probably doesn't allow for it to have an acceptable airflow in
Yeah.
flight. I'm just making that up, guys. I don't actually know at all anything.
You're right, nothing. We know nothing at all
These are just educated guesses.
on any subject.
Shift F1 drops the stairs, so if you want to DB Cooper it, there you go. It will not let you do it in flight, and they actually have this thing, which you can thank Captain Mike Martin for telling us about. This was added after DB Cooper's jump from the aircraft.
Really?
And so when it hits the airstream, this paddle is going to turn back, and this arm will block the air stair from deploying.
So it's a latch?
Yeah, it's basically an air...
An air blocking
locking,
latch.
yeah, and it's external, so there's no way to shut it down or bypass it. So
Well, that kind of shows you something. Like back there, I mean, obviously airplanes are designed to fly through the air and thus aerodynamic, but with it curving back like that, to be able to have sufficient airflow, even with that small, because it doesn't look that big. I mean,
no,
what is it?
not much.
Is it even 12 inches long?
right, and it's hard to say how much the flow sticks to the
Right.
fuselage, but apparently that was big enough to work. So we have made it to Fairbanks, Alaska, and
We got another comment coming in here from Dimitri. Hey, hasn't he been? You commented on a few of our videos recently.
I
right?
recognize
I recognize the name.
that picture.
Yeah, I enjoyed the multi.
Oh yeah, I think you've been the guy asking us to do Siva. I'll tell you what, it's only $12. I'm planning to pick it up. We'll learn how to do it, but I'll admit to not being that motivated because it's functionally sort of like a very lame FMC, if I understand correctly. It's going to give you GPS waypoints,
lat longs,
latitude,
lat longs.
longitude. So
So you're punching in Latin longs to fly.
So they're not. Those are an inertial system. Then they're not GPS. Okay.
Right.
So it's going to serve the function of GPS roughly, even though it's not referencing a satellite. So my understanding is once we figure out how to do the data entry, it's just going to be a matter of punching it in. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we'll give it a spin. It's only $12. I've wasted more money on flight sim before.
We all have.
But let's just put it this way: I'm just not that excited about it. I do think we can probably use that on our Concorde, as well as the my 707 has it.
I think doesn't the Concorde have one? I think the Concorde had one built.
Right, but I didn't know if it was going to be like on my 707. It's got the Siva, but just like this ship, you have to buy the add-on for it to work.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You can actually see it there. It just doesn't do anything until you buy it. What I wanted to check was our... Sorry, I'm clicking all the wrong ones. I wanted to see our fuel.
While we're doing this, we still got a few people on here. Should we just fire away for the next couple of minutes, and then after we bumble through things, then we'll shut it down?
Yeah, we're all yours, gentlemen, for a moment. Real quick, if you want to just review what the flight was, we left Anchorage, which is off the in-game map right now. Mm-hmm. I didn't turn on Project Fly just because we were getting some frame rate issues, and it says 20 there. This system tends to run actually at about 50 to 55, and we had some times in flight where it looked a little laggy, but it would recover, and honestly... I don't think it's X-Plane. I don't think it's the FLYJSIM. I think it's just the streaming was just making my system cranky. But you can see just tracking the VOR perfectly up the line. We did exactly as we mentioned. If you look at our Facebook plan, as soon as we picked up the localizer, we tracked that. That brought us out past the field. We just did a standard rate turn to bring us outbound. This would be our downwind, right? So we just did a pattern.
But yeah.
So we flew downwind. This little procedure here is reflected on the approach plate for 2 left. So we made that turn 155, turned back at 335. As soon as we completed the turn at 335, we watched for that localizer. We used approach mode, got ourselves configured, and brought it down. Oh, hey, while we're talking to people.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Oh, yeah, you could run it back. That way they're not bored staring at nothing.
Well, you got to do the epic replay. Guys, I always have to see what my landings look like. I must know. Now, this is tempting fate here because of the times my sim has died. What have you missed, John?
John, just
sadly,
like the whole
everything.
Thing. Or nothing, actually.
The good thing for you is this will be available. Oh. Just put the car in reverse.
Yep.
Here, John, we're going back.
Yeah, here. Here's the landing coming.
20, 30, 40, 50.
This is just my vanity, John. I actually just really want to see how it looks. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna turn it down, so hopefully it's not blasting you guys out. Let's see how close we came.
Well, we landed like right at I think the last one.
There's the touchdown.
Yeah.
See, and I thought we had it, but then we're just floating.
Yeah. Thrust was already back.
Here it comes, guys. The last touchdown marker. And I think we're on the ground. It just doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Run that back again just a little bit. Can we go to a ground level cam and I want to see how close we were to being legal.
And you know what?
Oh, look for spoiler deployment.
Shift the angle and watch for the gear to compress.
Compress, yeah.
Yeah, we're in. We're in. Solid. We had it. Money. We had it for a long time.
Actually, yeah.
We just didn't know it. There we go.
Yeah.
So, what
so where's that at?
Lee's telling you about, see this line? After that, we're obliged legally to do a go-around.
How were we on the other one behind us?
These are 1,000-foot increments. So back here, this big square is the touchdown zone. Are there 500s?
Yeah, I think there are 500 between them.
Pardon me, 5.
Here's
so
your
1,000.
1,000-foot markers.
Oh, right. Okay, so this is 1,000, another 500. So this guy here is 2,000 feet past the anticipated touchdown point, the target point. And we were just watching for the gear to compress, so we knew we hit the ground. And we'll slow-mo it here. Boom, wheels rolling.
Yeah, we're legal.
We
legal landing.
Officially touched down about, 1,750 feet past the target.
That's true.
But hey, if you've not watched my landings, for me, guys, this is about as good as it gets. This is close to on center line. A little bit of crosswind I did not account for, sorry. Did we melt the tires, really?
I don't know. That's what FlyJ said.
It's his aircraft.
Yeah.
He should know.
So if he says we melted the tires, then we melted them. Although we did forget to put brakes.
Right,
brakes.
and so that was really just toe brakes and
well, that would do it.
Reverse thrust.
Yeah. All right. We'll stay on for another. What do you guys say? About 2 minutes. The questions aren't really coming in over here on the stream, but we also don't want to take too much of your time that we already have today and bore you. So if you got a few more questions or feedback or anything, let us know. We'll. We think 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be here for a moment or two, guys. I'm actually going to see if I can find our live stream, and there it is. There it is. There it is. Look at that. Nice.
I changed that.
So, yeah, if you're not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe. We've got weekly content. Do we know what we have coming out this week?
Well,
we don't want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be done. I'm trying to get it done.
It's not top secret. It's just a sore spot.
Right, it's a sore spot. So what we're planning for is the default Beechcraft Baron with the SimCoders Reality Expansion Pack. I was doing a flight from Key West, Florida, up to Peter O'Knight in Tampa. There's a story with it, but we'll see, one, if it gets up on time, and two, I'll probably talk about it during there. So anyway, I had a computer issue partially, so I have only a partial video footage recorded, and I need to make some more. So
right,
that will be hopefully coming on time.
You know, in the real world, you worry about crashing the plane, and in the sim world, you worry about crashing the sim.
Right.
That's no joke.
Both are annoying.
Highly irritating things.
Sadly, I just got home from work and missed the live stream. That's all right,
well,
John.
Good news, it goes on just like a video, so you can go back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, Dimitri. No, I think we forgot to set the auto brakes on the landing, so I think FlyJ was busting our chops a little bit there.
Right. So if you use the toe brakes, it's my understanding that you would be
use
capable,
a lot of effort.
Yeah, it would basically be like slamming the brakes in your car, and so the amount of friction and heat generated not only is going to melt those brakes, but can you lock the? Can these tires lock?
I think a lot of them have anti-skid, but there's that picture I think of, or there's a video on YouTube I think of either 7.4 or the Dreamliner. They wear the discs down to or the pads, pads and discs down to like a minimum wear, and then they have to do a rejected takeoff stop.
Oh, okay.
And you know how sometimes you'll see them they have to burn for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes and not catch fire. It's
this is the certification testing. Yeah. I have watched that. Right.
So there's things around this, and a lot of people don't realize all the things that go actually into aviation and the safety aspects. But
right. You know, if we want to talk safety and mechanics, we should grab the Mad Dog and do an Allegiant flight.
Well, yeah, we'd have to plan our diversion.
Right. I made that joke. Someone.
I saw that one.
Someone we were interacting with on Facebook was going to do an Allegiant flight, and I asked him. I said, "Oh, where are you going to divert to?"
Yeah, and he said K-San, right? A short hop.
Right. And so if you didn't know this, just Google Allegiant diverts. Or emergency landing, and just scroll.
God bless them. They just...
It's a budget airline. It's, you know,
Yeah.
they buy old used birds and they're trying to fly cheap seats on the cheap. And
some business models work better than others, I think.
but this, you know, it's not just an internet joke. I was at a small airport once flying an American regional, and Allegiant was the only other aircraft there. It was like a 2-gate airport that's about the size of my house. And Allegiant made an announcement over the intercom saying if anyone needed to use the restroom before they got to Myrtle Beach, they better do it here at the airport because the lavatories were inoperative. And it just blew my mind because I think I had just been whining to one of the people I was flying with about flying Americans regionals. Not that there's anything wrong with them, just, you know, regional aircraft tend to be bare bones.
Yeah, they're smaller generally, and yeah.
But then the mere thought of aircraft with no restroom for 150 some people, and suddenly I was like, oh, okay, life is good over here at American. I'm not complaining anymore.
Hey, John, we just got your notification here. Thanks for the subscription. And to answer your question, the FLYJSIM, looking right now on the xplane.org store, it's $59.95. And they recently updated. They added the rain plugin.
Right, which you'll see in this video if you go back.
Yeah,
This
if you go back.
Avatab just showed up.
Yeah, the Avatab was added.
Now, we're running Navigraph, so you need a subscription to get that. But the Avatab itself will show, and you can still get the...
This works on all of it, right? This
right,
map.
the maps. It's just taking my computer a minute to load here. The map, there you go. And you can zoom this out to whatever you want. But that would still work even without... you can put your own charts in. You can put the manuals in.
Yeah.
If you're flying VR, this is a must-have. And you can probably grab it off here and drag it places. I just haven't tried yet because I actually want it to be there. The Rain Man package gave you the weather radar,
Oh, that's right. I forgot the radar.
as well as water drops on the window. Go back to our departure when this video is... It's probably not viewable now. But when we wrap it up, YouTube will make it a viewable video. You can go back, watch the departure, and we are in the rain. We play with the noisy wipers for about 2 seconds, and
And then
just
turn them off.
'cause
Yeah, they're loud.
it's a little irritating, just a little. Kind of wish FlyJSIM was still here to tell me what sort of damage I did by running the APU or breaking the APU.
Well, hopefully he signed off actually ahead of time so we don't look like a complete idiot.
He doesn't realize how...
These are the type of people purchasing my products.
Now he's going to tease me. He's going to say, I thought you said you read those manuals.
Yeah, whoops.
Doesn't mean I remembered them.
Yeah, sometimes you miss them. I mean,
In one ear, out the other.
I don't
hey,
remember every
look,
word of every
Austin's
book.
vegan food. This is one of those ground service trucks that I was telling you about. You can use
yeah.
the default airports.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's over there driving through the cargo loader right now, but it will pop
has
up.
a load of bacon on it.
And it's gonna lift to the door. Look at that wheel.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's broken free.
Found the long pedal on the right.
Oh my goodness. You know, the other day I was taxiing around and one of these luggage trains had lost its mind and was circling like a dog chasing its tail, just wigging out like
perfect.
nonstop. It was just going crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't have OBS loaded, or I would have recorded it just
To throw in.
because it was funny. Yeah, I was thinking like I just throw that into a video, maybe a little Benny Hill music, just a little luggage cart chasing itself.
Well,
All right.
What do you think, man? I think we should probably wrap this thing up.
Okay, so yeah, we're not certain what this video's for the coming week will be on Thursday, but every Thursday for us, it's Friday 000
Zero Zulu.
A lot of zeros Zulu.
It's easier to do that for everybody in the world.
Right. Yeah, we actually have a lot of international subscribers. So
Yeah, which
thank
is
you.
interesting.
And if you want more FlyJ, let us know. We've already had the request for the Siva, so we'll get on. Oh, look at this Beamer. That is actually how BMW drivers operate.
Yeah, it is.
It's very realistically modeled.
And if you'll notice, he's turning without the turn signal.
Right.
So
Those are an optional
They're
feature
option- on Audis
BMWs.
as well, I believe.
Here comes fuel truck.
Yeah.
That's for the Beamer. It's going to
Right.
need it more than we do.
Yeah. So where were we? FlyJ adding the Siva to this.
Yeah, so just let us know if you have any requests. We really like doing the tutorials. We've done a bunch of those, but
we do enjoy flying the aircraft as well.
right. And I think there it is. I was waiting for this, and now you get to see it, guys. Cabin doors do not open on this ship. Otherwise, we would open it for Austin's vegan food to be thrown out. Who really wants that, really?
Maybe some beans and kale are good. I don't know.
Maybe if you, of course, you don't know because you don't eat it.
Well, I'm not gonna.
If this was the In-N-Out truck, we'd be all over it. Sorry to people that don't live in the American Southwest where that's an option. So yeah, let us know. We're gonna be changing it up a bit and alternating between our typical tutorial videos and some flight videos because these videos are averaging us 5 to 10 hours of production for a 30 to 60 minute video. So we both noticed that we're doing a lot of work and not that much flying, and we don't want to burn out, so we're going to be alternating flights with learning.
Yeah, and the flying's just going to be kind of us flying, maybe talking through it, maybe narrating in post-production, but just
right.
So we can enjoy doing this.
Now, if you don't understand already why we narrate in post-production, I hope today's live stream will have convinced you that neither one of us is capable of talking and flying. I mean, there's two of us here, and our shared brain power is still kind of derp.
Yeah, that's true. That happened.
All right. Well, all of our delightful ground equipment has arrived. And we've already reviewed the flight.
Where's the Blackwater truck?
Oh,
we're missing one important vehicle.
Actually, that's Avgas. That's Texaco.
Well, maybe that is for the...
It was only a 1 hour flight.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be Allegiant's broken. There won't be a... There's no need.
You might not be on the minimum equipment list. All right, well...
All right, so we're going to wrap it up for today?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. You handle that, sir.
All right, guys. Well, just because it was fun on the way in, I'm going to do it on the way out. We're going to give you a little closing music. Let's hope we get the right one.
Maybe.